The time is now.
You are listening to NUFC Talk Radio, the voice of the Toon Army. Live daily on the website, on YouTube, and on every online radio directory. NUFC Talk, the voice of the Toon Army.
Oh.
There you go again. I'm going to move us all across because I've just looked and all of a sudden there isn't anybody in with the mighty win again. There you go. We're in. That's what I said. We're going to have to watch that because we get caught out every single show where there's literally just, I don't know what it is. The camera always points to mighty win just before we start.
And why wouldn't it?
Exactly. The light always comes from the darkness. Anyway, let's crack on with said show. Welcome to all my lovely panellists. As normal on the early show, we've got the mighty Win, we've got the lovely Boaky, and the ever so lovely Tina Tooney, who is obviously with us again. So let's get the housework done, and then we'll crack on with my little ditty. That's got to be careful how I say that, I suppose. Welcome to all that's watching across all of the platforms. Thanks to all the mods and everybody that work in the background, do an amazing job. Hit the likes, people out there in viewerland. It certainly helps us get further as a channel. Subscribe. It's totally free for you to do so. Hit that bell for future reference. And at the end of the day, you will get that 30-minute warning, even though we were supposed to, according to YouTube, we were going live at 9 tonight. So I gather we'll play catch up for the first 5 or 10 minutes while people jump on board. But if you do hit the bell, you will get the notification as we go live. So it's certainly worth doing. And obviously you get the membership. If you want to, you can get the membership. It's $4.99 for the NTTV Plus. That means you get full access to all the content and members only content that we do here on the show. If you've got a queue for any of us in the panel, then throw a queue in front of it in the chat. Ain't guaranteed. So if you do want to guarantee the message read out, use the NTTV Super Chat. Follow the dollar signs, and that'll guarantee that message read out. And anybody that becomes a member during the show, or any of our lovely members that gift them, will also be highlighted and thanked. How are you guys then? Are we all good?
As
Awesome,
well as can be
fantastic.
expected under the circumstances, shall we say.
Well, that's fair enough. That's fair enough. I mean, like I said, it's one of them, isn't it? You know, the jury seems to be a little bit out, and probably a little bit on the. See, for me, it seems as though my tire pressure is a little bit half. You know what I mean? I need to get it pumped up. That's how I feel at the minute. It's not quite driving properly. I'm pulling to the left, the same way, you know, I always do. Totally left-sided me, left-handed, left-footed. Might as well pull to the left. Let's do the ditty, just so I can get me match of the day pundits going. Welcome to the NTTV Live, where the only thing tighter than the Premier League finances is, well, maybe some of our chats grasp on reality. This week, we're cutting through the noise and the red tape. Is PSR, or whatever they're calling spending control rules this week, really ruining the January sales? We'll tackle the transfer misses, like the missing out on Conor Gallagher, who just signed for Tottenham, and debate potential loan moves for names like Ruben Loftus-Cheek. We've got news from the lower leagues as Heffernan heads to Harrogate, silly boy, while 16-year-old Ferreira is on the Jumpstart programme. Then we deep dive into the tactical turmoil at Wolves before wrapping things up with the gospel according to Eddie Howe. Settle in, the truth is about to hit harder than a late transfer bid to re-sign Dummett. So there you go. Ta-da!
Very good.
in off the post, as they say. I honestly, listening to you guys this morning, it was really funny. Well, what style is it? What style is it? Tell me the shape. Tell me the style. Anyway, I'm going to try when we get into it. It's going to be an interesting one. So let's, I suppose, deal with the start of what we said there. There's a couple of things that I've noticed in the I say the system, if you like. It's not really anything of any problem. But for me, the one thing that I've realised over this, the start of January, is the amount of sales, if you like, people going from club to club is virtually zero. There is very cheap change in the pockets of Premier League clubs at the moment, and I wondered why. And again, if you dig a little bit deeper, even though Newcastle, according to everybody, and I'm sure Chris and the boys are going to do the confidential, they're going to literally go through the confidential later on, so they may have a little bit more scope from Craig Hope. But from what information that I can gather, looking around the yard, is we've got about 25 million to spend in January. That's not going to bring you a lot of money. And I wanted to try and find
talent.
Well, I mean, that's harsh because, like I say, there is a lot of. If you think you like Conor Gallagher, he's just come for 35 million.
Yeah.
So again, players that are there, if you're willing to take the punt on it. Now, I'm on that fence now to think that the reasons probably why we didn't look at Conor Gallagher was we only want to spend 25 million because we want to spend bigger in the summer when more players in that pool. It doesn't become that one fish in a large pool. It becomes a large fish in a small pool to a degree. So for me, it was more a case of where are we going regarding this PSR, SCR, whatever you want to call it these days. I mean, there's been a massive hoo-ha on Talk Sport with, obviously, they talking now, the Etihad sponsorship was £1 billion, and they was shook hands on that, and they were said you can carry on with it because of all the law behind it. So what I just wanted to try and ask you guys what your thoughts are on why we haven't seen much movement. Second week of January, we're coming to the mid part now. What's happening? Is it the fact that now PSR, SCR is completely wrecking football and sales in January? You might as well scrap it for me.
Well, by all accounts, PPR, PSR, call it what you will, is not preventing us spending anything. Because we know for a fact we've got all the ESAC money to spend if we want it. So I don't think that's... I mean, Eddie said in his press conferences when he's been repeatedly asked about activity in the transfer market, we are waiting to see who will get back fit in terms of all the defence. Well, we know for a fact now that Livramento is going to be out for 8 weeks. Shea's going to be out. Burn, that target in PSG, but in the past, when we've seen the target games that have been set up, very few of those targets have been achieved. So, regardless, I think you're better off spending on good quality players and ending up with too many than not spending and ending up with none, which is what could possibly be the case, or ending up, scrabbling around like we did last transfer window at the end, and buying, just anybody really, and that was a lot of the problem for me, in the window. If we'd had the ESAC money up front, we could have went and paid proper money for the players that we really wanted, and not ending up with what we got. Albeit what we got was better than what we had, but not good enough to go straight in the first team. And that's what we need right now.
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of talk about, there's a big sponsor deal coming our way. I'm still trying to dig into that. I haven't got any information on that. So what's your thoughts, Boaky?
Firstly, I disagree with Win on the point you just made about the players, but we'll not go.
I knew you would. I was waiting.
We're bought in the summer. As we discussed last night, I'm not going back over that ground again. But in regards to what I don't understand is in this window, we know where issues are at the minute with the team. It's in defence. Well, there's issues all over the pitch, but we know where issues are with injured players. It's in defence. And in the summer, no matter what happens this season, we know for a fact we're going to have to get at least 3, probably 4 new defenders in the summer transfer window to start obviously replacing the ones that are going to be leaving through contract ending and the age. So why don't we just buy a couple of them now? You know, and sure enough, we've already started scouting, I would think, and we know who we want in the summer. Yes, you might pay an extra couple of £1 million for them, and yes, it might cause issues with obviously the financial fair play and things down the road. But end of the day, we need players now. You've got a central midfielder playing at right back. We've had a centre back playing at left back. You know, we've not been great in regards to the defence, in regards to keeping them fit. And as you say, Win, we've got Shaw out for still for a little while. Although they did seem to be a little bit of good news came through earlier this evening, which I'm sure they'll pick up on the later show. We've got Tino out. We know Hall's had injuries this season. No Burns out. Surely enough, you just bite the bullet and go out and buy at worst one of the defenders that we're going to need in the summer, if not better, 2 of them.
Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. And you forgot to mention that we have had a winger playing at Centre Parks because none of us have seen him at St James's Park. Anyway, what's your thoughts on this, Tina? Before we move on, because like I say, I know like PSR, CSR, SCR, I should say, is absolutely boring to the viewing world. I've made a couple of notes from what I could gather. I don't know whether you're involved in the financial side of some people just enjoy the football, not really there with the finances. I'm one of them. I don't really like to delve into this because, if I'm honest with you, haven't got a bloody clue about it. That's why I always go to my right-hand man, Win. He knows more than I do about financial stuff. So what's your thoughts, Tina?
I mean, I think obviously the rules that came in stopped us from becoming an absolute powerhouse in the first season or 2. And the restrictions are affecting teams throughout the league. Like, if you look at the teams who actually have signed players, I mean, you've got Manchester City and you've got Chelsea, like 2 teams who have obviously had financial backing for a long time. But if the PSR rules are supposed to stop bigger teams from just running away with it, why is it only the big teams who can afford to make moves at the moment? And in regards to our January window, I know what Wynn's saying about we've still got the ESAC money to spend, but I have also heard the report that you mentioned that we've got 25 million, and that's our transfer budget for the January transfer window. So whereas I 100% think, because as Boaky said, we are going to have new defenders in the summer, so we should try to buy one of them now because we clearly need it. We're crying out for it with the injuries that we've got. But it then comes down to the quality that you can get for the 25 million. So I think that I've hated the rules since they came in. And I mean, I can see what they were trying to do. And this might be just clueless Newcastle fan brain coming out here, but it did kind of feel as if these rules got brought in just to try to hinder us. And that kind of gets my back up. So although I wouldn't normally pay attention to the financial side of football, that kind of pricked my heckles up a little bit because I felt like it was unfair to us because we got this massive takeover. It was like Undertaker sitting up at the end of a match, like, here we go, we're back. And then like the rules are like, no, but you can't spend all that money you've got actually. No, you can't do that for another 7 years. You've got to sell all your players first. And, how can I not how can I not show attention to it after that?
Yeah, you're right. I mean, it's really strange, and I think you've just hit the nail on the head because, Eddie Howe has explicitly referenced PSR as a constraint on how far they can strengthen in January. And some of the things, if you look at the quotes, some targets are priced out of our bracket, if you like. Deals depend on player sales first, and I've already seen literally within the chat, it's difficult to move players on, even though there seems to be West Ham interest in Lascelles. So why are we talking about he doesn't know why his body's feeling like it is, when there's obviously West Ham in the background that are inquiring about him? Is Eddie Howe protecting him to move him? Maybe that's the answer. And instead of saying that, he's just turned around and said he's not in that right frame of mind yet. And maybe there's been contact with, I think there's 2 Premier League clubs, if my memory serves me right, because I've done a lot of jiggity and pokery today to try and get some news out there, to try and keep away from Chris's talk later on. But obviously, clubs now are prioritising loans or low-cost moves. And again, this comes back down to where I was saying about the 25 million mark. PSR still exists today as the rule at the end of 25-26 season, meaning clubs are shaping January businesses around it. So it's, as you've seen with Newcastle now, a lot of the emphasis about Newcastle is shirt sales, is, club sponsors now you've heard coming through the grapevine. Why didn't we ever hear this when Silverstone was in post? You know what I mean? There was never a thing.
He was about as effective as Shola Ramiobi, as far as I can see, in terms of what he did.
Yeah, exactly.
But the main thing that I'm taking from it, and by the way, it's multiple sources, so it must be pretty much on the money, this 25 million figure that's been bandied around.
Yeah.
Is this PIF saying, yeah, we've got 25 million here, but we ain't spending anymore until we get to the end of the season and see where we're going to be and see if Eddie's still going to be there?
Yeah. Can I just quickly ask, how much is Lascelles on? Is he like a match? How much does he get paid?
I think
not a match, sorry, a week.
I think he's on 62 seconds.
Yeah, I was going to say 50 or 60 mark rings a bell. But so did Quasimodo's face. But I mean, that means nothing to me. I read it 1 minute and I forget about it the next.
If it is 25 million that we've got, then you could have added another £3 million there by not giving him a new contract in this, towards the end of last season in the summer. So we're going to have to start thinking about this. With all the players.
40 grand.
40 grand. So you're talking 2 million.
2 million.
2 million in. But that could have been £2 million more in the transfer pot.
Well, in the scheme of things, big deal, as opposed to having him in the dressing room.
No, you say that, but over the seasons that we've been with obviously Eddie Howe, we've done the same with Dummett, we've done the same with Richie. We're keeping hold of older players that we know aren't going to play and aren't going to get into the team. None of those players in the last season, I think, I dare say you could probably count on 2 hands how many games those 3 players played all together in the last season they were with. We need to get out of this habit of bringing players in on still good money, because that would have been, if you talk about them then, you talk 2 million doesn't sound a lot, but then you add another player and it's 4 million, another player and it's 6 million. I think that's what we need to edge away from, is this giving older players who aren't going to be playing games new contracts.
And so I would argue, what are you going to get for that extra 6 million? We're not talking about being FFP causing us to be a cup.
You asked that, Win. So Gallagher went for 35 million, who was a player you wanted. We probably couldn't have got him because we only have 25 million.
Well, I don't.
But over the seasons, if you build up that money with those keeping older players, you could have had that extra 10 million. So, by offering older players contracts, yes, it doesn't sound a lot, but it keeps adding up. So it keeps adding to the sort of the spend that we're doing on wages. I mean, Lascelles is a waste of £2 million a season, basically, for the club.
I think with Lascelles, though, because he was the official club captain still, well after he'd stopped playing for us, wasn't he? So I think in his case, it kind of maybe comes down to that and what he did as captain for the club when it was going through, and I'm not disagreeing with you that we shouldn't be keeping players beyond that, but at the same time, I think that probably put a little bit of, we need to keep hold of him in the bank.
We're a big club now and you can't have sentiment. It's a bit like with your favourite player, sure, if he doesn't get back fit this season and isn't fit enough to play, You don't offer him a new contract. You don't offer a player who you don't know is going to be playing again a new contract. The likes of Trips, I hope we don't, but if we offer Trips a new contract, it's ridiculous. You know, you can't keep paying these players the money for not playing for them.
Well, the other way to look at that as well, though, is for the sake of 2 million, we could potentially, let's say we sell Lascelles in this window. If West Ham come in for him and we sell him for 5 million, let's say, that's 3 million we've made. Whereas if we hadn't given him that contract, he'd have
walked
been
away from the club.
But when we ever done that with the older players? Whenever, like the likes we had, we know we had offers for Trips, we didn't take them.
Quite rightly at the time.
But we know we've had offers for players in the past that we don't take.
Yeah, I think the truth though on that win, as much as there's part of your sentiment I agree with, what I saw now against Man City, especially for their second goal, I think I could have treaded water quicker than he could run past. Nuri passed him like he wasn't even there, and that's what worries me. And that's why we said, sometimes you have to get it while he's hot, because even though he's never going to get younger, he's only going to get older and slower. And when there's interest in these players, as much as he's been an absolute great signing for Newcastle, one of my favourite players, if I'm honest with you. Sometimes you've just got to say, I've got to go. I've got to let you go. Go and spend the last couple of years in the sun, wherever you want to be, and go from that. Christina Cage, thanks, Sean. Retirement home of Shaw.
Thank you for the super chat.
Thank you so much, buddy. But it is crazy. I mean, like I said, I don't want to dive into it deep. Because obviously there's certain things that are changing. And again, we've got to think about us being in Europe as well, because that affects where we are. So from 26-27, the Premier League will replace PSR with SCR plus SSR, a system that caps squad cost at around 85% for those that aren't in Europe, and obviously 70% for those that are. In theory, this allows clubs more certainty and aligns the Premier League with similar UEFA financial rules, but the conversion from PSR to SCR only affects future windows, not this January. So that's the part that I wanted to highlight. Yeah. Clubs want to spend in January, but the current financial rule book, PSR, still governs the Premier League spending for the rest of this season. That means clubs are having to be careful in how much they commit to wages and transfer fees, and many will prioritise sales, loans, or clever deals. That's what I suppose Spurs have done with Conor Gallagher. They've seen a chance to spend him. They've got a bigger turnover commercially than we have, and I don't think we'll ever catch up with them unless something drastically changes. And clever deals rather than big money signings. The new squad ratio rules will ease things a bit from next summer, but for now, PSR still matters. So I suppose PSR isn't dead. It's shaping January behaviour, and I think that's the big thing. New financial rules won't officially apply until next season. Clubs may plan moves under PSR now and CSR next season, so they might try and combine the two. Selling players could be key to unlocking January recruitment, and that is literally where I want to quit on that stuff. But again, for me, it just seems as though we, again, I don't think there's a lot of money in there. Before we move on, Win, I have starred a few in the chat because I want to try and do it relevant to the passages that we go through, because by the time we get to the end, 9 times out of 10, and I'll be honest with you, I've forgotten what we were talking about at the start.
Tim comes in, we have a weird relationship with transfers, let's admit it. Emergency stash under Wynn's mattress, says Kenny.
Get the money out, Win.
West Ham want him for leadership as they are rudderless in defence, apparently. Well, that's one thing they'll get. They'll get a damn good leader. Yeah, available funds. Reports suggest a budget of around 100 million could be available in total, with a capacity to spend up to 50 million on a single player due to amortisation rules. I haven't seen the 100 million
Okay.
anywhere.
No.
I'd like Richo, if you can tell us what your source is for that, I'd be interested. Guys, we've done bugger all commercially. Silverstone only did the Adidas deal, and that's it. And that's because he used to be at Adidas. He was a total failure, sitting on our hands, crying poverty. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I agree with that. You know, I think this new guy's getting the ball rolling. Of course, we've got the recruitment drive on at the minute for to get the right executives behind the scenes. But the bottom line is, it seems stupid that we're still talking about it, but until the Man City ruling is definitively made, which it still hasn't been, with regard to associated party transactions, they got a special dispensation for the Puma deal and for the UAE bank deal. Until that is settled once and for all, we are, I think PIF are holding back on our big sponsorships, ground naming, training ground, training kit, all the rest of it, because they don't want to come in with coppers and then have to justify upping the price kind of thing, But that was an interesting one today, by the way, that I saw. I don't know if anybody else saw it, about Greg's.
Oh, I saw this.
Joke.
I saw the signage, but I thought, I'm like Christina. I thought it was a bit tongue in cheek at first.
I thought it was joke as well.
Well, that might just because I've been dealing with
or tongue in sausage roll or hamburger.
Yeah, but what could be? You talk about brown ale.
Oh, you're right.
What could be a more iconic
Northeast signature
than Newcastle United and Greg's?
Absolutely.
We could probably cover another show, but playing devil's advocate a bit with this whole PPO, whatever you want to call it, financial fair play. Could it be that the Premier League are thinking, actually, it is working? If you look at the table this season, there are a load of teams bunched together now.
Yeah.
And it's not predictable. So as I said, that's not one to cover the night because we could go on.
Well, no,
exactly.
but you say that, but the point is, yes, you're right. The rest are all bunched together, but who's running away at the top? Liverpool, Arsenal, Man City, Chelsea.
But no matter what they did, that was always going to be the case. But if you look at the rest of the Premier League, it is pretty tight. So it is. But no, let's not go into that.
My argument from the start has been that these rules were introduced for no other reason than to prevent clubs overspending and then getting into financial trouble. That's what they were introduced for, to stop clubs going bust, like Portsmouth did, like Leeds got into trouble, and so on and so forth. That's why they were introduced, to say you can't spend beyond your means.
Yeah,
if you can prove categorically that you're not spending beyond your means, I don't see why you shouldn't be able to spend what the hell you want, as Chelsea did, as Man City did, as Liverpool, Man United have done for years, Arsenal.
Yeah, JRW's coming here. Sorry, go on,
I'll play the super chat first.
It's not a super chat. It's just somebody's put something interesting into the chat. Let me just do this one, and then we'll get on to you. The APT case has been kicked into the long grass for sure. Something definitely dodgy about how. That's gone. How this gone down. Similar vibes to the Abramovich Chelsea sale. Money sitting in a bank account. Yeah, it's an interesting one. Like I say, for me, it's just I just sometimes feel a little bit these golden handshakes that certain clubs get that are already miles ahead of us. It just seems to leave a little bit of a bitter taste in my mouth. Sorry, sweetheart. What was you saying?
No, I was just gonna. This isn't a point that's got any factual basis to it whatsoever. But do you think it's kind of helped keep the feeling of Newcastle that we haven't? Because generally, if those rules hadn't been there, we could have had every best player in the world by now. Would have become an instant success. We wouldn't have had this little transition period. And I don't know, I feel like it would have taken away some of the specialness if we just went from being relegation fodder to winning the Premier League every year. I kind of like that we've had to build a little bit. With that being said, I would like the restrictions taken off now so we can go out and spend hundreds and hundreds of millions.
Exactly.
But I kind of like that it's let us kind of adapt into being a big
Yeah.
team again.
Certainly nobody could accuse us of buying the title.
No, exactly.
I think again, Battle Blogs, I just wanted to clarify. I'm not saying we haven't got money to spend. I think what Newcastle are trying to do is split the pot, because obviously next year there's a new system in situ, so they want as much cash as they can in the July market rather than throwing potentially dead money into this one, because again, we've still got players coming back. And again, I must admit, and while we're on that, with players coming back, it's lovely to hear that the club are actually in talks with Fabian Shaw about an extension on his contract. I think that just proves two things to me. One, how good Fabian Shaw's been at this club, and two, how good this club is to players that have suffered an injury towards the end of their career. And I think the support goes both ways. And we've heard that from Tonali, who secretly gave us a little bit of a handshake with an extended contract. He may be regretting that now with our current form at times. But I mean, there's so many rumours out there. So while we're talking about rumours, this one fell literally on well, it fell by deaf ears at first. I just thought, oh, that's clickbait. But then I dug a little bit deeper, as I do when I hear this, because obviously I want to bring some content to the shows. And we've got this that's come through.
Can I just put this in from Lynn Simpson? He has a story for you. My other half was delivering a parcel today to Shearer's house, and he got to meet him. Then he bumped the van on the way back to work.
Oh, man.
Talk about being starstruck.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, how do you explain that to the gaffer? I was still smiling and looking at Shearer as I was reversing.
Or I was on my phone telling everybody.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, Jesus. I mean, that would probably happen to me, if I'm honest with you. I'd be glary-eyed. Shearer's like an all-time star of mine. Absolutely fabulous. So what is your thoughts? Because, I always look at the transfers, and literally 37 minutes ago, it has blown up even bigger than the rumours that I heard this afternoon. So this is team talk again, and I do go through a lot of team talk because they do seem to come up with very close to truth rather than just figment of the imagination. So Ruben Loftus-Cheek has been offered to Newcastle by intermediaries who also made the club aware of his potential availability. The intermediaries have suggested a loan with an option to buy, and Milan would be willing to allow Loftus-Cheek's departure on that basis. Court Offside have also said sources close to the agent industry state that the Newcastle United are monitoring Ruben Loftus-Cheek's situation closely. Newcastle are said to be keeping tabs, but have not confirmed their interest fully. Reportedly keen on, and again, we just go back to where it all come from, and that was a little bit further down the line. But there's also now West Ham, Aston Villa are also potentially interested in going in for him, and they reckon at the end of his loan spell, his value be around about £10 million. And again, what they're saying is it's like for J7. I think, what is he, 29 now, Loftus-Cheek?
29.
Yeah, 29. Checked. Right. So J7's 28. So, he's at the other end of that prime, if you like. But can he do a job at Newcastle? Is he worth the punt on a loan spell for the rest of the season to see how he performs? Is it any worse than what we've got as a backup?
I think only if Willock goes. You get rid of Willock, you bring. Oh, sorry, Christina. You bring him in as a loan sign at the end of the season. But again, with that, there were problems in the summer because you're going to then have to buy a midfielder as well. So there's loads of things to take into consideration when you're selling players at the minute.
I'm just looking at his ratings here, and only in one game did he score over 7. Every other game he's been below 7.
Yeah.
Obviously, I haven't watched those games necessarily, but
if he scores 7 games a goal for me, that's great.
I love it. I mean, listen, for me, I just think we have bought in, Ramsey. Like I saw the lads do the player scores, did a cracking job, Michael and Ian. And I must admit, I agreed with them. I thought it was probably Ramsey's first game where he brought something to the table. It wasn't, it wasn't stellar, but again, you're up against Man City, so I think there was a lot of caution on the field of play rather than that just get out and go for it. I think it was a chance missed, if I'm honest with you. But there is some other news out there if we want to really look deeply into this area, just for a couple of seconds. Again, Calcio Mercato, talking about Juventus and Sandro. Joe Willock again has come up in the last 4 hours with the Leeds more interested in the move rather than Crystal Palace. Still a lot to talk about Bruno Guimaraes to Real Madrid. And obviously Bayern Munich. Well, I told these guys on the show last night that there was lots. Yeah, you just gone when we were talking about it. Another one that's come, and again, I don't think this is a bad shout, but again, we're going back to Bournemouth, and that's young Alex Scott. But I think Alex Scott, if he does come, he's 22-year-old, good midfielder. You saw what he did against us. He was, a box-to-box type midfielder. I saw this is the Alex Scott that was at Bristol City, I think. Yes. And I remember watching him at Bristol City and marking his name down, saying, this is a lad to watch his development going forward. And obviously, there's other clubs now in the hat for his signature in the summer. And Manchester United, Manchester City and Aston Villa have also inquired with Bournemouth about his availability. And obviously, he moved from Bristol City in 23 to Bournemouth. And obviously, Bournemouth are aware that they are, facing tough times ahead. He's just got over 2 years left on his contract. And sources confirm he's prepared to offer an extension on 2 years to another further 2 years to get his signature. So, again, I think it'll be more the fact that...
and yet, I was on a Bournemouth podcast after the game on Monday night, and when I mentioned specifically that I thought Scotland had a brilliant game for them, and they were kind of lukewarm about him.
Yeah, it's funny, isn't it?
They said he got his goal and that, but he hadn't been all that.
Yeah,
but again, why we're looking at Premier? If we only do have £25 million to spend, why we're looking at Premier League players again? Why aren't we looking?
This will be in the summer, Boaky. This won't be now. This will be in the summer.
Well, fair enough. But why are we looking at Premier League players again, even for the summer? Why aren't we looking further afield so we can get value for money? So that we're not going to have a fortune to spend in the summer. Let's be honest. No matter what happens,
I reckon £120 million, don't they?
Yeah. But unless we make a big sale, we're not going to have any, as you say, more than £120 million. So why aren't we looking at leagues where we can get more value for money rather than playing the Premier League Premium, which is probably part of the issue that's knocked up with the financial fair play in regards to the fact
let it lie.
No, in regards to the fact we just went for Premier League players.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, we've got a player that we're very interested in, and I say only yesterday there was some contact, I believe, with his agents, and that's Matthias Mane from Wolves. He seems to be very high, but again, he's more of that 10 role. And again, I don't understand what Eddie's looking at here, unless he is thinking Now we've got the likes of Voltamada. Now we've got the likes of Wissa. Moving that around to playing more of an arrow with Voltamada, Matthias Mane just sitting off Wissa in that role. And instead of having wide wingers, you can actually change it up to be more of a central attacking system. So you can sometimes play two up top with Mane just playing off the striker, and Voltamada drop it in to a high 8 stroke 10. So again, don't shoot the messenger. This is just what's out there. But I believe, if I'm honest with you, if this lad carries on playing the way he's going, he's 18 years of age. They reckon he's valued down here at 250k. He's literally come out of nowhere at the minute, and we'll have a deep dive into him and how he plays in Wolves when we look at the Wolves thing. Man City, Chelsea. Go on.
I know you want to move on, but can I just quickly ask on Scott? What's that saying there? Scott, is he free, Boaky man? Is he free in the summer?
No, that's why he said a lot of clubs, a lot of Premier League clubs, especially the lesser clubs. And I'm saying especially. That's a lie. Every club will look at the 2-year mark and go down everybody's contract, and they will all say to themselves, "Is this player taking us further in the Premier League? Is he going to give us another 2?" So he's got 2 years left with a potential 2 years offered to him. And that is, again, what all they're trying to do is boost his price up. If he signs another 2-year contract as an extension, they're going to get double the price for him. And that's all they're trying to do. It's an interesting one. Couple of names that I'm going to really struggle to talk about, though, is a young lad. Here we go. Tachukwu Nadi. And he's from a club called Zulte Waregem. And he has been reported that West Ham are preparing an official offer to Zulte Waregem, a defensive midfielder. Tachukwu Nadi, West Ham have already had talks with his reps after scouting the 22-year-old several months ago. A source close to the player confirmed that West Ham officials met with Ndai in Morocco.
Easy for you to say.
Yeah, exactly. While he was on international duty, several other clubs monitoring the Nigerian international. It also understood that Newcastle United, Brighton, Leeds, and Crystal Palace are aware of his progress. Additionally, there is interest from clubs in Germany and Spain. So again, he joined the Belgian club in January 24, and has a contract to 28. So not going to be great in experience to a degree, but they reckon he's going to be valued at around about €4 million. So somebody that's probably not got the profile that you would throw straight in. But, I know you keep on saying we can't deal with projects anymore. I think what we have to look at is the financial clout that you could get if he hits the ground running, because that is what clubs do these days. They go out there and nestle these little gems, bring them in, give them bit parts. If they fit the system, great, utilise them until they get to that point 2 years down the line. Assess him. Is he going to stay? No, let's get him gone then and get the money back. And that's what they do. And that's where they make the business. So that's that one. And the only other one that is probably worth a little mention, and again, it's not a biggie, if I'm honest with you. And I've probably just took my eye off it and lost it now. Bear with me a second, because I thought I'd got it at the cusp of my hands. Oh, where have you gone? Oh my God, I can't believe I've just done that. Oh, there you go. Sorry, that was me. And this one is obviously defender. We've been looking during the AFCON. There's a Cameroon star that is really showing some interest as well for Newcastle. He looks the part. I must admit, he's a solid-looking guy. Ross Wilson, besides Harvey Barnes out of forwards, output has left a lot to be desired this campaign. And then they go on to this AFCON star eyed up by Newcastle. According to reports in Africa, Newcastle have reignited their interest in signing Bayer Leverkusen's talent, Christian Kafane. I like this lad. I think he's going to be an absolute star. And like I say, they looked at him last summer, and according to it, nothing really went from it. But Africa Foot, who apparently is their rag, their local rag, who claim the Newcastle have expressed a very strong interest in the striker. although we aren't the only ones in the mix. Again, Manchester United. And another big one, Real Madrid, are also very big admirers
Is
of
there
the
a
19-year-old.
valuation on him anywhere?
Excuse me. I've got a big frog in my throat tonight. No, I haven't got anything at this moment in time. It is literally, it's something, again, I've only just pulled, so I'm going to have a deep dive on him to
Right,
see. But
sorry.
he's certainly a great player.
Just
that
very
I've,
interested in him. If we had a valuation that could maybe be around what we've got, I would love to see that in January.
Because he plays for a bigger club, I think you're going to find that the money is a little bit on the higher side. Yeah, I don't think Bayer Leverkusen, and they're not the biggest club in Germany, but they're strong enough to hold a price against a player, especially if you've got the likes of Man U and Real Madrid also impressed in him. You know what I mean? So you've got to look at it from every angle, I suppose.
Gary, can I just pick up a point there? Did you say Wilson wasn't happy with Barnes' output this season?
No, it was me just ad-libbing. I was fast reading it out, mate, and it was
that's fine. That's fine.
He was bringing in extra attackers, also be of the concern to Howe and sporting director Ross Wilson, besides Nick Voltemade, because obviously these new boys that you've bought in is going to have a massive mental impact on the likes of Wissa, on the likes of Voltemade, because he's another striker or another attacking player. You know what I mean? You've got to look at the mental approach that these boys also have. It may also give them a bit of a kick up the backside, though, mate. So for me, I always think, numbers and competition doesn't hurt anybody. The only people that walk out the door sulking are those that aren't willing to fight.
100%.
What else was I going to do? Oh, yeah, I was just going to look at going back to Loftus-Cheek, because while you guys were talking, this is league stats per 90, 25-26. So he's talking about bringing in Loftus-Cheek to give Joe Linton a bit of a breather, because we don't seem to have a like for like without losing elsewhere at the club. And Loftus-Cheek does fit that mould a little bit with J7. So at the minute, he's played 829 minutes to J7's 1,200. His progressive carries have been 3.7. J7 has been 1.4. His key passes are 0.98, where J7's 0.81. And the ball recoveries, J7 wins by 2. 3.15 for Loftus-Cheek, Joe Linton 5.59. But that's what Joe Linton does for Newcastle. So it's a case of what you get from Loftus-Cheek is more going forward, but a little bit less defensively. What you get from J7 is nothing going forward, really, and a lot more defensively. So I think you have to balance it out. That's all I wanted to add to that one. Anything else that you boys want to go off regarding that before?
Like I say, that it's a bit like last January, if you remember. I mean, the transfer market was just absolutely dead. And it was all same pattern as this, loan deals and,
absolutely
change deals.
Yeah, a little bit of a surprise. Go on. Sorry, mate.
I think you've got to look at the big clubs as well. That they're not, because they don't spend, that doesn't then get the knock-on effect down to the lower clubs in the league. In regards to that, I think the big reason for that is if you look at each club's situation, they've all got situations where they wouldn't spend. Arsenal probably don't want to rock the boat too much because they've got a good squad anyway. Man City, again, they're tooting along quite nicely. In the likes of Liverpool and other teams like that, sort of Man United, they're looking to think, if we spend, we're going to be changing our manager at the end of the season anyway. Do we want to spend anything? So I think the main reason is the big boys don't spend, and it has a knock-on effect right down the league.
No, I mean, you could be right, mate. I mean, like I said, it's a strange way to be in, if I'm honest with you. Listen, I know we've only got 40 minutes and we've still got quite a bit to go through, so I want to jump into this next one, if I may. We've just realised, we knew Heffernan wasn't happy with the chances of getting first-team football. But coming from AC Milan and now moving through Newcastle and going to Harrogate, it's a bit of drop of...
That shock and progression.
As you quite rightly say, yeah, progression is absolutely abysmal there. But again, is that not also showing you guys, and I want to, direct this towards the chat as well, because it's been a lot of talk about how not utilising the under 21s enough in areas. But when you get a player coming from AC Milan, are we wrecking potential good players if they go down to the level of Harrogate? Is that just a mental thing?
In this case, it seems like we have. I mean, that Cordero, who we've been speaking about, we brought him back and sent him straight back out on loan, and both of those players came in with a ready-made reputation as well, even though they were so young. So I think not playing them and not giving them a chance and not, showing them a pathway to the first team is probably hindering their progression.
It also asks you, though, why were Milan, quite happy to let him go for Coppers if they saw anything in him?
Yeah, to be fair, maybe this was the trajectory his career was going to take already. Maybe we were just a stepping stone to also figure it out.
The reason he had the image of being the prospect that he was simply because he was an English kid who'd signed for Milan. I think that's the bottom line. I think they took a punt.
I love that one, Kenny. From the cheering shroud to old Mother Shipton's cave. Classic, mate.
I think what we have to take into account is if we're going to start buying younger players and try to develop them, some will work and some won't work.
Absolutely, mate.
You will with young players.
So will some Premier proven players.
I tell you what.
Let's not go back there. Let's not go back there. But in regards to that, you've got to understand that there will be some duds and there will be, but potential. It's the potential that you're looking at. So you've got to take the rough with the smooth with it.
I've just done.
Coffee wants this one to you, Win. Does the panel think we missed a trick in moving for Gallagher? Seems
Not
like
moving.
Howe's type of player.
Exactly.
Massive engine, England international, and only 35 mil. Well, you were really up for him earlier on, wasn't you? Before, yeah, exactly. I said again, I would have been happy with him coming to us, even though I don't think he's all there. He just gives you something different, and I think what he would give this team, and again, the only thing that worries me with Conor Gallagher, we don't have two natural sixes. We have 2 8s, which are great, that will drop into a 6 and do a job, but they're not natural. And I think what Conor Gallagher would give you is that gap filler between the striker and your midfield.
Well,
but again, I just think would our midfield go missing?
I think he's exactly what we've currently got, which is Bruno and two number 8s, one of which can drop to number 6 seamlessly, it would appear, when he's on top of his game, and one who can't. Conor Gallagher.
Which one are you putting in each group there?
Well, Tenali can, Bruno can't. Bruno hasn't got the legs
Bruno
to get
can't.
back.
Interesting.
He hasn't got the recovery speed.
That's fair.
Whereas Conor Gallagher has. So he could do either of their jobs. So then you'd be talking about proper rotation. But just out of interest, just for to refresh my memory, and this is if we wanted proof positive that FFP is not working. Last January, there was only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 transfers incoming to the Premier League over 22,000 or 22 million. Dorgu to Man United for 30 million. And then the only other 4 were Marmoush to City, Gonzalez to City, Kusanov to City,
Jesus.
and Victor Reyes to City. 37, 77, 137, 207 million pounds.
Yeah, there you go. And it's going to get worse this year.
Man City spent in January last year.
Manchester City have also made the best signings so far this January in Semenyo.
Yeah.
They certainly have.
Well, again, everybody's comparing Semenyo to Elanga and saying, Semenyo was only £10 million dearer.
Don't compare those two.
That's because Semenyo had a £65 million release clause in his contract.
You have to take into consideration what Wynne was saying there, though, of where City were last season. So they went out big to try to get themselves back into the Premier League race. And it didn't work, but that was the reason they did it. So you've not, you can put the figures out there, but you've got to look at the reason why clubs have done it as well. And we all know they've got the money and they've got the sponsorship deals and everything else that they can spend that money. They decided to do it last January. So there's reasons behind that. When you can't just put the figures out there without giving it a little bit of context.
Well, all I'm saying is
we're trying to get into the title race.
All I'm saying is that apart from Man United and Man City, nobody spent more than 25 million last January.
So even though it was only even though it was necessary for Manchester City to do that, it was still only this super rich club with all of these sponsorship deals already there who were able to spend that money in January, which again shows maybe the financial fair play rules aren't exactly creating so much fair play.
No, you're right. Crazy. The one really good news that I read today, and again, it's somebody that I've been so keen to watch more of, and that's young Ferreira in the under-18s, playing under 21s. He's 16 years old. I think he's just turned 16. He has a very good ceiling, and I don't want to put too much pressure on him, but he's certainly been given the green light by the coaches at Newcastle United, giving him major plaudits on where to develop his game for that next standard, for that next level. He's a young lad. He's very lightweight, nippy kid down the wing, beautiful close control, has the ability to beat a player, has the ability to keep the ball close on at full pelt. I think he's an absolute darling to watch. Also a local kid, I believe. I think his parents are from the northeast, even though I think one of them might be Portuguese, as his surname suggests. I don't know the full details of him. But like I say, for me, the only thing that's missing from this lad is a little bit of frame. He just needs that, building up a bit. Like I say, he's still got 2 years of growth in him. So you can imagine where he could be. What's happened to Wynne? You've gone dark, mate.
Where's Wynne gone?
Stick 50 pence in the meter, mate.
Yeah, I'm going to say, keep pedaling on that cycle. There you go. Right then, let's jump on to the Eddie Howe philosophy. This is just going to be me jabbering on a little bit, I suppose, because there was a lot of talk, a lot of conversation this morning. I've spoken. I've been writing loads of notes down over previous weeks, seasons of Eddie Howe's tenure, and especially this year. And it's about like how you go, types of style, if you like, of play. So the way I've worded this is dead simple. So Howe's Newcastle often play in a 4-3-3 or a 4-2-3-1 shape in possession. They build from the back with a double pivot or staggered midfield and use wide rotations to progress. Build-ups begin with the goalkeeper and centre-backs who are encouraged to circulate the ball patiently, inviting pressure to open space. Full-backs offer width, with full-backs often acting as a deep playmaker or may invert, underlap, depending on the phase of play. Midfielders are tasked to control the tempo. Bruno especially typically drops to link play with others, stretch vertically to break lines. Wide forwards hold width to look to isolate fullbacks, while the striker drops to combine or spin behind. Interchanging positions between the forward three is common. The final third play involves structured patterns, including third-man runs, overlaps, cutbacks from wide areas. Set pieces are another strong attacking tool. Not that we've seen much of that this year, with Howe's coaching staff dedicating significant preparation to restarts. And again, that's just about getting the ball into the final third. And if it goes out for a throw, corner, free kick, or anything like that, there seems to be a play dedicated to that. Just looks confusing at times when you keep rewatching it. You can see what they're trying to do and where they're trying to put the ball, but I still cannot understand, and I wanted you guys to jump in at this point here, why we have so many players over the ball at any one point, and it seems to change depending on the corner, depending on, so like Lewis Hall will have 2, then it'll be given to Miley to have a go. Then, do you know what I mean? It doesn't seem as though they've got anybody that can control it. We've got Tonali and Bruno seem to be more left-sided. Hall and Miley now seem to be right-side corner for the one in winger, one out. I don't know. I think, are we losing that little bit of continuity when it comes to the amount of people now taking set pieces?
Well, before we answer that, and we can all have a go at it. Oh, where's he gone? I was just going to bring Jefferson in, the Dark Lord himself, but he's disappeared. Never mind.
Oh.
Okay. What I cannot understand is in the summer we brought in Martin Mark. You and I did a deep dive on him. With he came from Set Piece FC in Denmark. Where the whole club ethos was based around set pieces, and we thought, this kid's going to get us up and straight and narrow. Why is it that when we get a free kick on the edge of the area, or anywhere near the edge of the area, there's 3 or 4. Now I can understand 2 or 3 players, being there. If we're going to take that free kick within. And this is what we should be doing. Those should be, if we've got a plan, everybody should know, if we get a free kick there, this is the plan. From signal, from whatever, this is what we're going to do. And okay, you can have 2 people around it if you want, if that's part of confusing the defence, for one of them to run through and get the ball, whatever. But how many times do we see us get a free kick outside the area, and it's like a parent-teacher meeting where they have this like committee meeting? I fancy it. He said, well, no.
Yeah, I agree, mate. It just seems confusing to me. So if it's confusing to the taker, can you imagine what it must be for the receiver? They're all standing there saying, well, which one are you doing it? Which set piece are we doing?
Exactly.
Has there been any information going? And that's what I said. For me, I think there has to be a succinct matter, a point of, maybe every third you take it, every fourth you take it, but the main 2, I want you on that ball. You know what I mean? And see how it goes. Change it up a bit. I'm all for that. But like you say, sometimes to me, and again, it must be like that when we're watching the games, because we all question it, why it's taking a lot of players to discuss a set piece, which they must work on over the 20-minute blocks nearly all of the time. It just doesn't make any sense. Just because we're running a little bit late, I just want to jump on board with the out of possession work. So out of possession, Newcastle are aggressive and well organised. And again, you've got to understand, this is from last year running into this year. The only thing that's changed is our forward line in this stage. So when we talk about that aggression and well organised, sometimes it ain't always there, right? So they defend primarily on a 4-5-1, we've seen that, or a 4-1-4-1 mid to high block. So this is that semi-press. And what they do with this semi-press is they emphasis on a pressing trigger. So they'll isolate a player that they believe is the weak link in amongst that back line. And when that player gets it, it'll be triggered by 1 or 2 players. So pressing starts from the front with the centre forward initiating the wingers, blocking inside lanes and funneling the play wide. And that's when they usually double up with either a fullback coming up. And we saw that with Chelsea where Malik Chow made that mistake. They pushed high, pushed the fullbacks really high to make that 2-on-1 impact. And what he did in the end was just push over the top for us. And unfortunately, we got beat from that bounce. The midfield compactness is key. Players work in unison to protect the central corridor. The team shows strong ball orientation, pressing in groups and recovery behind the ball quickly when bypassed. Again, there's a weak link because we've got new players entering the solid 3. So as soon as you get Tonali, J7 and Bruno out the equation and bring in Ramsey, as much as he's got quality, he's missing parts of what that strength used to be. So now you see that corridor isn't as compact as it used to be. So we have been bypassed on more than one occasion. since the new boys have come in. Against strong opponents or when leading, they can drop into a more structured mid-block, more to the low block these days, but maintain compact vertical distances. But again,
I don't know that I've ever seen this 4-1-4-1. I've seen the 4-5-1, 4-4-6, but I don't know.
When I say the 4-1-4-1 is when you see them on the press, you'll have the one that's on the goalkeeper, the two boys will come out, and then the two midfielders will go up. And that's what they call the 4-1-4-1. And you'll have Tonali or whoever, Bruno, will sit in. And it's mainly Bruno and J7 go on the high press. And it's not a touch press. It's like, that's what I said. That's why I call it now, instead of the full-on press, when we used to do it with pace, with Isaac and everybody else,
exactly.
It's now more of a half press. May change.
Because whereas Isaac used to be the man pressing the goalie, that is now Gordon.
Yeah. And you lose that left-hand side then.
And absolutely. You lose the left.
And that's what I said. At the minute, it does look a little bit disjointed. I absolutely agree with you. And I think that was Chris's argument this morning. It does look a complete disjointed effort at times. And the one thing that gets me, and I think what we have to also look at, is an easy ball out. And don't forget, we lost to the likes of Nottingham Forest. 3 balls over the top. Chris Wood got a hat-trick, right? We were on the high press. So there's a lot of areas that Eddie Howe has tried to tighten up, but still maintain a press. But he's now realised that being on that high press, we are very unsure of the ball over the top into the half space. Against Villa, when we lost 4-1, that ball out into the midfield zone, it was that half press, and there was major areas and gaps to exploit. So this is what I'm saying. When the boys aren't fully at it, we can be exploited so easily. When we go on the full press, the ball out over the top can also make us go down one. Sorry if that's bored you, but I just wanted to get that in. Let's talk about Wolves. Did you all get that? Because Boaky looked bored.
Sorry,
mate. I know these type of.
No. I get what you are talking about, but I started reading the chat and got a bit.
Is there anything in the chat that we need to see before we move on to the Wolves for the last 25 minutes?
If I'm honest, I think of a lot of it we shouldn't really show. So.
Okay, fair enough. I bet they're all crippling me for my boredom.
No, there's nothing about you.
Look at this. We don't see him for 5 years clutching at straws. Yeah, exactly. I mean, and that's why I think the likes of Gallagher, and I did see it while I was talking. Ricky D put it in. Pressing monster, box crasher, and a good leader. That's what I said. I think he would have been that main man up top because he's got that little bit of pace and aggression against him.
Except that he finishes that comment saying by not what we want ballers. We want proper ballers.
We want I know, exactly. But that's what I said. I think he would have been a short term, not a long term. And that's what I said. At his age, now, what is he, 26?
Something like that, yeah. He's not old.
Yeah, 26, 27. He's not an oldie. Is he going to be the where you want to be in 2-3 years' time? Probably not. So is he going to have any sell-on value at that time? Probably not. So again, are you just 25? There you go. So he's still got, he's still coming on to his prime. I think it was probably a risk at 35 million. I must admit, I really did. As much as, like I said, he's never really blew. He never really blew my frock up at all. Even for England, he never blew me frock up. But that was under Southgate. I don't think anything blew our frocks up under Southgate. Right then, let's get into Wolves. This I'm going to put on the screen now is what their current lineup looks like. It's a 3-4-1-2, 3-4-2-1, whichever way you want to deal with it. It doesn't really say a lot about Wolves because of where they've been this year. They're really struggling at times. Bear with me, guys, because I have got...
Well, they have been struggling, but unbeaten in the last 3, 1-1, drawn 2. getting more points from the last 3 games than they got from the previous 22 combined.
Yeah.
Looking
So
at that lineup, though, do you know who the top goal scorer is in that team? I don't know if you've already looked, because I looked into this before we came on.
no, good for you. Tell me.
So, out of that team, it's probably not who you were going to expect, so I'm not 100% sure that I'm going to pronounce his name correctly, but Ladislav Krejci?
Yeah,
Or
Krejci.
Krejci? He's the
Krejci,
top
yeah.
goal scorer on 2. And he's had the most goal contributions with also having an assist. So
Isn't Mane up there now? I think Mane's probably up there.
Mane is their second top goal scorer on 2. So he's like joint top goal scorer.
Yeah, I was
but
going
he
to say,
hasn't
he's up
given
there
any
now.
assists.
No, but that's what I said. He's just one of them free runners. He's like Krupe at Bournemouth.
And of course, the
Krupe.
wonderful Strand Larson can't get a game. That's how good he is.
there is that as well, isn't there? It's interesting. For me, 26 Wolverhampton Wanderers are currently managed by Rob Edwards, who seems to be a bit of a journeyman at the minute. Rob Edwards, he's been to a few teams
around
recently.
the bottom end.
Yeah, who took over from Vitor Pereira early in 25-26. Yeah,
didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Because I thought he was stabilising them, but he just, like I say, they just completely fell off the face of the planet at the minute, aren't they? The team is undergoing a challenging tactical transition following a period of instability and high managerial turnover. Like I said, the shape and formation under recent managers, Wolves have alternated between a back 3 and a back 4 systems. Their primary shape for 25, the team utilised 3-4-2-1 or a 3-4-3. This setup relies on highly mobile wing backs to provide width and 2 advanced attacking midfielders to support the lone striker. The alternative shape, depending on the opponent, we have reverted to a 4-4-2 or a 4-3-3 to gain more defensive stability in the middle third. The current instability under Rob Edwards, the team has struggled with tactical dysfunction, frequently appearing to lack a coherent shape, which has led to significant defensive frailties and gaps between the lines. So the style of play under Rob Edwards is more, if you look at the identity, it's a mix of counter-attacking routes established by previous managers and a more recent attempt to implement structured possession. Counter-attacking, historically, Wolves' greatest threat has been quick transitions. They focus on winning the ball in central areas, often led by midfielders like Joe Gomez and Andre. And I believe Andre has been missed. I don't know whether he's injured. Has he gone? Because he doesn't seem to be in this team at all recently. I need to have a look at that. I did all the Wolves work yesterday, and I missed to look at what their injury list is at the moment. So I'll come back to that in a second. An immediate release, pacey, wide players. Possession and build-up under Pereira. There was a shift towards measured build-up from the back. However, in the 25-26 season, this has often been criticised for lacking a clinical edge, leading to low-scoring totals. Defensive approach. The team typically drops into a compact mid to low block when out of possession, attempting to force opponents into the wide areas before engaging. In 26, they have struggled to maintain this discipline, often becoming overwhelmed by high-pressing opponents. Tactics and go on, mate.
I thought that was it. it.
Tactics, obviously, there's been a lot of talk about Strand Larson. I mean, the lad is completely out of form from a really strong start to his career at Wolves, but he's literally another one who literally dropped off. And again, I don't know whether this is a lad that got his head turned when we were inquiring about him. Sometimes, as much as you think it doesn't affect players mentally, again, you've seen another lad here. Again, doesn't look like he can kick a ball. Never mind. I believe he scored a hat-trick in the cup. But apart from that, I think he's only got 1 goal in the Premier League thus far. And obviously, they've lost a hell of a lot of players to higher ground, if you like. And again, it is a little bit of a team that's going backwards at the moment. And I think that's where Chris was coming from. When you look at where they are now, it's at the bottom of the team. 7 points, I believe. Is that correct, Wid?
They've got 8 now, I think.
Right.
And 3 draws, and they've got but they've got 5 points in the last 3 games.
Exactly. And I mean,
Just
if you look at them,
just were you mentioning Chris, Gary? Can I just quickly see, because there's been a couple of comments in the chat about where Chris is. Him and winning the rest of the guys will be on the late night panel. So stay tuned, and them guys are on after 9:30.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
Then, and then Chris is on a big silver bird coming over here.
He is indeed. And you wouldn't believe this win. I was literally packing my bags to come with him. My missus was able to get rid of her for Sunday. So somebody says they do from, I think it was 8 o'clock on Saturday night, a call. So we thought, right, that's it. We're coming up. We're going to come and sit with you boys in the northeast. And then her aunt died in Poland.
Oh no.
Yeah, early this morning. So she's literally distraught. She's now on the phone. Yeah, thank you. She's on the phone trying to get a plane sorted for early next week, I believe, the funeral. Because in Poland, I mean, Tina will know, in Poland, they try and get them in the ground very quickly. It's all done and dusted. So she's just now trying to ring around to get her on calls and everything else done. So what was going to be a surprise for you guys when I turned up, now isn't.
Never mind.
So, yeah. She come in and she went, I'm really sorry. And I went, listen, it would have been nice for me to come and just surprise the lads for a beer on Saturday. But obviously we can't do it now. Anyway, let's get back to where we were. Sorry, Boaky, I don't want to butt in, buddy, when you're halfway through a chat, because when you started, I was like, just going to go, hey, here we go. I think the biggest thing for me, no. I think the biggest thing for me, as you quite rightly say, the last narrow defeat was against Liverpool at Anfield. Am I right? I think that they lost 2-1 at Anfield. And again, showed some decent spells. Drew with Man United 1-1. Beat West Ham 3-0, who we lost to. Drew Everton and beat Shrewsbury 6-1 in the Cup. So, they're on a non-loss streak of the last 4. So, have they turned a corner? Well, I suppose what we will have to try and do now is work out Eddie Howe's team. So come on, then, team.
I've got some quirky facts before we start that. So
go on, then.
Wolves have won just 2 of their 21 Premier League games against Newcastle. 10%.
Yeah.
Only against Liverpool, 9%, do they have a lower win rate among sides that they've faced 10 times or more in the Prem. Newcastle have won 6 of the last 8 against Wolves, including the last 4 in a row. As many victories as they managed in their previous 28 against them, which was 6, 12, and 10. Both teams have scored in all 10 Premier League meetings, home and away. And it's the most played exact fixture, i.e. Wolves at home, the most played figure ever in the Prem, where both teams have failed to keep a clean sheet. Wolves unbeaten in the last 3, which we've just gone through. Newcastle have won the last 3 Prem games. That's the longest winning run since March, April last season. And funnily enough, that's an interesting thing that Jack brought up this afternoon. Because everybody goes on about how the wheel came off after the cup final.
Yeah.
It did nothing of the sort. Because after the cup final, we went on to win the next 3 Premier League games. It was only because we lost the last 2.
But that's what I said. Where we are now and what we talk about, and it keeps going, won't even be a figment in anybody's imagination come the end of the season. Because you'll only focus on the last game or the last 2 games. Because that's what happens in football chat. You talk about what you've won, if you have, and what you were like at the end of the season and the beginning of the season. Because, memories like mine, like I said, I can go back and watch Burnley game and it's like I've watched it from the start all over again. That's how my memory works. So for me, it's great when I go and rewatch matches. I never get bored. So who's your team then, guys? Who would you have in goal? Popey or Rammers?
Are we going on what we would do or what we think Eddie will do?
What we think Eddie will do.
And I think he'll go with Pope.
Pope.
I agree.
But I would
right.
also want Pope, even if that wasn't Eddie's choice. I think that's the right choice.
Yeah, and I think back four picks itself.
We've only got 4 available.
Maley, Chow, Botman, Hall.
Botman. The only 4 that we've got, you mean?
Literally the only 4 defenders we've got.
Yeah. I mean, it will be great news.
One of them's not even a defender.
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean,
I wouldn't play that back 4.
Who would you play then, mate?
I would take Botman out and I would put Ramsey in. Not Ramsey, sorry. Not Ramsey, Murphy. Alex Murphy. Simply down to the fact we're putting Botman at mega risk here. Just down to the fact how many minutes he's played in the last few weeks.
He needs minutes.
I agree with you 100%. But
you call people out for injuries and things, but we're playing that lad game after game after game after game again, and we're just setting him up for a fall.
Yeah,
that's very true. I think it's unlikely that Eddie Howe is going to do what he should, which is what you've done and put Alex Murphy in there. But I agree that it is actually the perfect decision.
Well, I mean, we could say that, we all say.
If I was going to play Murphy, I would rest Hall.
Yeah, who's just come back from it. But so I said, there's so many that need a rest. That is the problem. You could see.
I just think Hall's a more valuable asset to protect.
He went through Man City like a hot knife through butter at times.
Or he would have done if the ref had given some protection.
Some protection, yeah. Well, like I said, I still think Pep done his best to get a high five off him. He got so many plaudits, for ignoring Pep when he walked past him on social media. They were all behind him. But again, Pep doesn't do things by halves. I think there's a little bit of a glint in his eye when Hall went past him, and the high five was to probably have a little word in his ear. Who's your midfielder then?
I think we need to put Botman back in, Gary, if we're doing Eddie Howe's team, because there's absolutely no chance he's going to do that. But
okay,
he might though.
Yeah. I mean, it's an option, isn't it? Who else would you go with?
Tonali in the 6 for me.
Tonali in the 6. Okay.
Yep. Bruno.
Even though Bruno was running through treacle, you'd keep going.
Yep.
And J7?
J7, let's be honest. If we're doing Eddie's team, that'll be the team.
I honestly think he's going to rest Bruno.
No, I think he might rest J7. I think he might.
For Ramsey?
For Ramsey, yeah.
If it was
we're not going to be under the press so much of Wolves, I wouldn't have thought.
I was going to say that, but if it was me, I would rest Joe Linton and Bruno, bring in Willock and Ramsey. He won't, again, he won't do it, but that's... How is it weak? This is the best squad ever. We're going to use it, win.
Yeah, I mean, if I was gonna play, if I was gonna rest anybody, it would have been Bruno for the start of this game. He looked absolutely knackered against Man City, and when he come off, the other day, he was like, you could see he was just struggling. And I think the important games are in front of us. This is an important game because it's a must-win if you're going to cast it on where they lie in the table. But I think if you're on a protection loop, I think Bruno it has to be the one that you look at. And again, their midfield isn't the strongest at this present moment in time. You could probably get away with Bruno sitting on the bench and Ramsey sitting in the area, but I certainly wouldn't change too much of it because you lose your shape a little bit then. So, you could put Ramsey in his spot. And again, I didn't think he had a stellar game, but I think he did okay against City. Okay in that game as well. So the boy I would take out is him, and say in the second half I'll give you a run out just to get your match minutes and your sharpness back. but I think he's the one for me that I would protect rather than anybody else in that midfield. Your
I
thoughts?
agree.
Well, I think it's you've got a perfectly valid point. I just think Bruno's proven year on year on year that the number of games doesn't affect his game really.
Well, I'll tell you what, we'll stick it as either or, right? We'll go with either or, and we'll cheat and play with 12 players.
Yay! Are we allowed to do that?
Well,
I'm
if the
joking.
crowd's
I
there,
don't really think that.
we've always got 12 players with our crowd. Anyway, who's up top
That's
for you
very
guys?
true.
Do you know, for the right wing, for me, I would go with a Langer.
So would I.
I would put, if I was Eddie Howe, I would put my arm around his shoulder and say, "You're my right winger for the next. You're my right winger for the next 3 games. You know, go out there and show us what you can do."
I've already got my player in situ, but I'm just waiting for you guys to name the left-sided player.
Barnes.
I'd already got my finger on the trigger. Up front, then, Whistler or Voltamada, the two W's.
Whistler.
Who would you go with?
Baltimore.
Whistler. You go with Volta. Tina, casting votes.
I'll go with Baltimore.
There you go. Voltamada gets it then. There you go. The lads are just coming into the background, ready to take on board and take us into the latter stages of the show with Ian and Chris, the mighty win, and a couple of other lads, I'm sure.
Jeffo's been in and disappeared again.
Hi guys.
Hey.
Hello, how are you?
There you go. How are we?
Doing all right, I'm assuming. Ian Mackay.
Ian Mackay.
Jefferson
Ian.
coming at some point in time.
Howdy.
And
Well, I saw you
Michael.
were picking your team for the against Wolves. Is that not a good game for Trippier to do right back? Because there's
Possibly,
a lot
mate.
harder games coming up for
shout.
different right back.
Exactly.
I might
Ian
try.
Mackay
Yeah.
I might
on
try
the
Phipps
money.
in right back, and I might try Miley in the midfield and give Bruno
Oh
as
my
much of
God.
the payoff.
Yeah, that sounds like
You woke up
Yeah.
That sounds like good, but you were arguing with me earlier on. So which one is it then? Oh my God, unbelievable! But he ended up saying that he agreed with me, and it's all just theatrics that he does to get clicks and views. So there you go, Michael in as well. Amazing early night show, folks. Thank you very much for doing it, of course. Gary and a lot of good stuff. It's a very entertaining early night show, to say the least. We should continue it, of course, next week. And that never stops, man. The grind never stops. Thank you, Gary. Thank you, Christina. And Boaky, stay on with us, of course. The late night show starts now, folks.
Have a
Thank
good
you, guys.
show,
Take care.
See you later. Ta-da.
Ta-da.
See you later. There you go. Let's keep going.
Set up for maximum confrontation and super opinionated debates. The NUFC Late Night Show with Chris the American Man, Derek the Matey and the rest of the panel, Monday through Thursday from 9:30 p.m. UK and UFC Talk Radio, the voice of the Toon Army.
And here we are, ladies and gents. Welcome to
The
NUFC
Dark
Talk.
Lord is with us.
Oh, man.
Choose the one, guys.
Ooh, already starting with that.
that right?
Unbelievable. This should be a good show, to say the least. And don't forget to smash the like button, of course. Don't forget that you can join the channel, join the membership club. Easy to do. Hit the join button, follow the steps, and join us for exclusive content. Everything that we put out. The player ratings was amazing yesterday. Good stuff from me and Michael, of course. Got the new graphics, got the new stuff, looking good, looking proper, looking really good, man. I enjoyed it. So become a member, enjoy that show. Once upon a time, I'm gonna make it my job for it to be about Kevin Keegan. So make sure to tune in for that one as well. Got a lot of good stuff, a lot of good videos that just happen to be member only giveaways. Also, we're working on something to do members where, because Animal Lecter was bringing up an issue where, it's a member, I need to give my call answer, blah, blah, blah. So we might get into a situation where we allow members to have priorities when it comes to call-ins as well. So it add one more perk to that. But become a member now, hit the join button, and help the channel grow. You can super chat your opinions as well. If that works for you, hit the super chat button and follow the steps. Anyway, this is my last show as far as being in here in America for a while, for a week at least. I'll be going to the Toon. I'll be in the Toon by Saturday morning, but I'll be traveling tomorrow. So I'll be in Newcastle and doing the Wolves match over there. It's gonna be amazing. Albeit I gotta deal with Mighty Win, but aside from that, it'll be all right. It'll be all right. So we'll deal with that. Win, you gotta stop believing what you see on the internet, man. Now you think Greg's the Greg sausage thing is gonna be
what a perfect match.
Get that on the front of the shirt.
Exactly.
Did you really believe that when you saw
Get
it?
Steve Bruce back?
That was shambolic.
It's just shambolic, man. Win.
It's a perfect match. Now the brown ale's no longer brewed here.
What are you going to put a sausage roll in the middle of a shirt, mate? That's appealing to you?
No, you put Greg's. A international brand. Now there's a Greg's in Dubai airport.
That's not a and they don't need Newcastle to put them on their
I
shirt.
agree with Win. I agree with Win a little bit on this one. I can just see war flags with a big sausage roll flag display going, and the Greg's on the other side of the crowd going.
Their mastermind of it all would be PIF by Brown Ale and do the proper comeback. That is the way of doing it. Bring back nostalgia to real life and actually put it as a shirt sponsor. What is you going to do? Greg's right there. They make no.
Greg's have got the right colours to replace Fun 88 anyway, haven't they?
There you go.
We know it goes with a black and white shirt.
There you go, mate. Come on, man. Win. And the fact that you believe that from some twat that posted that on the group, man. Come on, man. Anyway,
it just seems like a match made in heaven.
Is it? I don't know about that, man. Anyways, who created Greg's? Who's the one that opened up? Who's the owner?
Peter Gregg. The Greg's family are still the major shareholders.
Where he at? Where's Peter?
In Newcastle.
He not dead? He still alive?
Well, Peter Senior's dead, aye.
Yeah, well, all right then. I'm just making sure, man.
There's more Greg's in England than there is McDonald's.
Well, that just talks about your country, the state of your country. I don't talk about that. Doesn't have anything to do with America. Is that a fact though? That can't be.
That's a fact.
Where did you read that?
There's 1,400 Greg's outlets and only 1,200 McDonald's outlets.
Whoa. The Northerners have took over. I love it.
I've had a steak, bacon, all of them.
That's impressive.
And let me tell you
That's impressive.
70% of those where those stores are at don't even know it's from Newcastle, man. 70%.
But the would, wouldn't they?
I don't know.
Has anyone been to the Greg's restaurant?
They were called Greg's of Gosforth up until very recently. That was in the sign.
Is that the one with the champagne, isn't it? Yeah, and all that.
Yeah.
How come?
There's a Greg's pub in Phoenix.
Well, listen, Greg's been the Peter guy. He's been a Geordie all his life. How come they haven't entertained the thought of trying to do this before? Why does it take Mighty Win to wake up one day and believe a meme to advocate for this?
I don't know. That's just their advertising preferences, I suppose.
I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying. Go on, Boaky. Say something, man. You want to say something? Or you just scratching your name?
No. I was just going to say, I don't think Greg's have ever been a huge enough company to sponsor the full team itself, sort of thing. They certainly couldn't afford to put the things on the front of the shirts.
I don't. If you got more of them than McDonald's, I think they're pretty big. Or else Win is just lying. So it could be. We still don't know. We got a fact check.
He's checking up.
He's checking up. Of course, ladies and gents, we're going to be talking about the new confidential from Craig Hope and the Daily Mail, talking about
2024. They bust 2 million for the first time.
Cheers for interrupting.
And 2026, they've expanded at 3,000 shops now.
Yes, it just
proves that we're wangers.
Appreciate it, man. I was introducing the damn show, what it's gonna be about.
The show's about the pasty tax now.
Yeah.
Love it.
Are we looking to get the show sponsored by Greg's? Is this why we're doing this?
If that's what you're doing,
I don't start taking the Mickey, mate, or that'll be out the window.
Hey, I ain't got nothing. Hey, listen, Greg's, you're the best, baby. Come on, Peter. You my mate. Come on, man. Get on board, and we'll sort it, man. We'll sort it. Listen, and I'll be Win is gonna try to do the Jordy thing. You know, he's gonna be at the airport receiving me with the Greg sausage roll, and I'm gonna have to be nice and just accept that. Yeah, Win. You know, it's good.
No,
man.
well, we'll not do it this time. Then stuff
No,
you.
it was good. No, actually, you bring it.
And he went, "Whoa, this is
Yeah,
this is good, this man."
But you gotta, but you can't wait until it's cold, man. You gotta do it right then. Like as I'm walking out, get one and bring it to him. You can't wait until it's cold, man.
Well, if you get out on time instead of
There must
waiting
be-
20 minutes for to get your bloody cases.
Must be a Greg's in the airport, so you could
Yeah,
wait
there
till
is.
it got
There is
through
one. Yeah.
and then buy one in the airport.
No, actually,
Where
That's
it's
what I
hotter than
did.
the sun.
I'm actually joking, man. Because as a matter of fact, when last time he received me with two sausage rolls, one I ate and it was warm and it was good. The other one I put in my bag and I forgot all about it.
Because Betsy didn't want it.
And that night, I get through looking through my bag and I see the sausage roll and I devoured that and it was still good. It was cold and flat as a paper. And I'm telling you, man, it was good. It was good. So I'm joking about. But anyways, the topic of today, of course, is going to be the Newcastle Confidential from Craig Hope. We're going to do something about the training ground, but obviously this is going up front in the queue, and then we're going to talk about that, in another time. But we got Lewis Miley, of course, one of 5 Toon stars on England's radar. We're going to talk about that. Has he done enough to be going to the World Cup? And if he does, this is going to set him up good in his career because, how many World Cups can he go to? He's just young. So if he starts, if it happens, and how good would it be for Newcastle to have a proper star? And I will give you my take on why I think about Lewis Miley after I read this. Also, why the club has set aside 25 million transfer fund. I don't think 25 is going to do much, but we'll read, of course. We don't know what it actually means. Fabian Schär and Burn injury return updates from Craig Hope, and also the young center back that's being scouted. Maybe you guys brought it up earlier in the show, but we'll talk about all that stuff, of course. First of all, how are you, lads? You guys are good? Jefferson, I haven't seen you in a minute. You're staying away. You don't want to face the music, I guess. That's what I'm hearing. That's what Win is telling me.
I'm scared. Come on now.
Yeah, you're scared.
Come on now.
First time.
It's box office when I'm here. So you know what I mean? It's prime time. You can't have prime time every week.
He is Jefferson is one of the biggest for Michael and Ian, who just are sharing the platform with him today. He's the biggest bedwetter in the history of civilization, of any football team. I mean, I'm talking about if there's aliens.
That you allegedly support.
I don't support.
What's happening? Who's hopping the fence this time? You hopping the fence again, Chris?
No, I'm not the fence. I'm not the fence. But I'm saying you are the big, the leader of that side of things. You are the type of guy that's on and on and on and on, which is fine. And Mighty Win is on the other pole, defending the indefendable. So, me, I don't think Eddie Howe can take us any farther from what I'm seeing. But I don't think he needs to go now because it's just so counterproductive. But again, we're starting to turn things around. They're starting to get points. We're kind of catching up to where we should have been anyway. So I don't see that. That looks like an improvement. It's like one of those when those stores put stuff for sale, and you think, oh my God, I'm getting such a great deal. When all they did was just up the price a couple of months before, and then they went down on their, on the deal, and you feel like you're getting a deal. You're not really. You're just paying about the same price. Well, that's exactly what it is. Right now we're playing catch up, but we should have been here anyway. So, but either way, we're going to talk about that, of course, and other stuff going around. Lewis Miley going to England. Is that even something? Because a lot of Geordies tell me, I don't care about England. Why do we got to talk about England? As far as Newcastle,
I said that on my first night, Chris.
It must be
3 weeks ago.
Exactly. It must be Newcastle fans, Geordies per se, must be one of the most non-English caring folks or fans, football fans in England, probably. Or probably aside from Liverpool. But why is that? Why is that?
I don't think you're right, Chris. I mean, Newcastle's got half the team's English, isn't it? If you work your way through it, Hope. Barnes.
He means the fans.
No,
inmate.
I'm talking about the fans giving a damn. Because Win just gets on here to make money, but other than that, he's not bothered about England. You know what I mean? He puts a little
I'm
England
a proud
hat
England
on.
fan.
You know what I mean?
I'm
But
a proud England fan, and I get a buzz every time there's a Newcastle player picked into the squad, and I want them to be picked.
There you
I want
go.
them to do well.
I like that.
Geordie's
I've been
going for
advocating.
independence.
I've been
Geordie's going for independence, like the Cornish.
Listen, Win, say something, man.
I'm just sitting there taking it all in. It's nonsense as usual.
I think from the
Boaky, come on, man.
To be fair, I don't care less about England, to be perfectly honest.
I want to know who Jefferson's going to be supporting at the World Cup.
Oh no!
All right, there you go.
Oh, he'll be supporting England. He has his heart with Ghana.
No, he won't.
At the end of the day, he'll be supporting England, man. Let me tell you
No,
something.
he won't.
I'll be supporting both. I'll be supporting both. But obviously, in the England v Ghana game, I don't know. I don't know who I'll be.
Jeffers, I think you live rent free in Wayne Wynn's head.
I know it's all deep love. It's all deep love from Win and I. It's all deep love. Come on, matey.
You were saying, Michael?
Let's have it. Come on.
Yeah, I think a lot of things from Newcastle, obviously, there's a bit of a north and south divide in England. I think that's sort of where these kind of things stem from. Liverpool like that as well, very working class places. But I think, let's be honest, everyone's England for tournaments. When there's nothing else on, everyone loves it. But when when you're in the middle of a season and you've got 3 international breaks and England are playing like San Marino, Andorra, and whatever it is, you're almost sitting there going, well, this is the worst thing I've ever looked forward to watching in my life. It's absolutely terrible. And I think that's a large reason of it, because friendlies haven't really changed. Nations League, still glorified friendlies. It's only when it comes to tournaments that people actually sort of care. And I think that's not something that changes. I don't think it's one of those things where people hate England, but I think there's a lot of a divide in the country at the minute on the actual country itself. And I think that's actually politics coming into football, and
Absolutely.
sort of it's one of those where it's kind of hard to say, we're not supporting England as a team, but a lot of people don't like England as the country they're in at the moment right now. And unfortunately, that is coming into it. I wish it didn't, but
I tell you what I know. I know that before every major tournament, when it was just the week to it kicking off and everything, all the cars driving round would have England pennants. Every other car would have an England pennant flying
in
from
Newcastle.
The car, everywhere, including Newcastle.
I remember them a lot when I was young.
The last tournament, there was virtually none, because you're not allowed to fly the cross of St. George now, because if you do, you're
let's not get into that, please, again, because listen, man.
Sorry, I've set him off.
No, it's good, because I think you should be able to do that when it comes to football, and you're talking, when you're back in your football team.
Even Gary Neville jumped on the bandwagon, man.
Well, that's exactly what I'm trying to avoid, because we did that show a long time ago. And so we've been there. And again, now I'm talking from the Newcastle perspective. Now Lewis Miley has been subject of watching eyes from the stands of
quite rightly
scouts, and checking him out. Of course, Thomas Tuchel, I guess, has some scouts and some people watching this kid, which they don't have to scout. They'll just go watch him on TV because he plays for the first team all the time. So it's not really discovering America. He's 19 years of age, but he has been playing a lot of football.
Lewis Miley's no surprise. It's no cat out of the bag for England in the last month or two. He's been picked to play for the under-21s at the age of 19.
Exactly. Here's the thing.
I mean, they've followed him all of the way through in the different levels of England team that he's played.
Here's the thing.
I'm just great he's doing well when he's got into the first team. I think he'll go.
Here's the thing about Lewis Miley. This is just plain and simple. He is the greatest footballer we have seen come out of Newcastle since Gaza. Plain and simple. There's no way around it. You look real hard and think real hard, you ain't gonna find one. Because Alan Shearer wasn't a great footballer.
It's a bold claim, given that Elliot Anderson's going to have the England team built around him in the summer.
Well, we don't know that yet, but
to be fair, Anderson looked terrible at 19.
Well, there you go. He didn't even get.
Well, say I don't think he did. My son thought he did.
But your Lord and Master didn't play. They never played him. So
no, because who did he have in front of him?
Is he right or is he wrong? Well, who does Miley have in front of him? And he's playing.
Yeah. Well, J7's been in, which is why Miley got in the first place, because J7 got injured. And Tonali had the ban, of course. So that's all coincided.
With that, is that not supported what Eddie Howe's job is to pick up on who are the best young players coming through? And Elliot Anderson's proved when he's moved on he was a brilliant player. So how didn't Howe say that in him?
I think you did say on record as saying that he was the last person he wanted to sell.
Yeah, after he sold him.
He didn't know how to use him.
No, PSR forced the sale.
And because we don't have a 10, he's going to struggle to flourish in a central position because there was times he played wide left, isn't it? As well as that centre midfield position. But I think naturally he's probably a 10. Same for me with Miley. I really do think he is actually wasted in our team. I think he's more of an attacking player, but because of our rigid formation, we'll only see it in snippets. We'll never truly see the best of him. I think maybe in a 4-4-2 diamond, if he's at the head, the pinpoint of that, get him closer to the box. He's a real threat in terms of threading balls through. He's got a good shot. We've seen that a few times. He's cute and clever on the edges. So I feel like playing right back, covering, doing that box-to-box job where you're just tireless, wasting energy is not where we want to see him. We want to see him in attacking midfield. But we won't know until the manager plays 4 in midfield, in my opinion.
So Kenny says, did he just say Miley better than Gaza? As far as talent coming up, I'm not saying
he said the opposite, didn't you? He said the opposite. He said he was the best since Gaza.
Yeah, since Gaza.
And could go on to be as good.
Because I thought Andy Carroll was going to be the next on this year. He didn't. But other than that, we never had. I mean, Anderson, again, you bring up a good point, to be fair. I don't know that England will really follow through in wrapping their team around Anderson. I don't know about that yet, but, it could happen. But you're right. He must. But at the end of the day, Miley is, he's 19, man. And so playing
breaking
like this,
through as well. At various stages this season, we've had him ahead of Tonali and had him ahead of J7 to get picked in the midfield. Now, I know that's because they were rocked a little bit.
Now, one thing here, because I got a comment here. And again, we're talking about a Geordie potentially playing for England and making the news. It's potential, like, the Daily Mail puts out, like, he might be called up for England, and Newcastle fans are like, whoa, Geordie. But is it really, the fans' excitement, is it really matching up to what people think is the excitement should be? Because England for a player, for Miley, for example, is a footballer. He's going to be dying to play for England. However, are they Geordies and Newcastle fans, more Geordies, in this particular case Geordies, because you're the only ones that are English. International fans could care or not care about it. Are they really going to look at that and say, good for you, mate, but, we're not bothered about it, really. We care about what you do for Newcastle. Steve Waldo, for example, here said, proper Toon fans don't give a crap about England. Fact. And it's not the first. I'm telling you, man, I've been doing this for 2 years now with you guys.
Well, ask me, would I rather Newcastle win the Prem or England win the World Cup? Newcastle win the Prem every single day of the week.
Obviously, yeah.
Yeah.
Bread
and butter, innit?
I think the one good thing for Newcastle is if Miley does go to the World Cup, if he is a player that would ever look to sell, you add 20 to 30 million pound to his value, just for him becoming an England player. So whatever value he has at the minute, you're adding a lot more to it with him becoming a full England international.
I know Jeff was saying he doesn't like seeing him play, right? But wouldn't it be hilarious if Man City bought Livramento and Miley converted to left back and got the England call in front of Livramento?
That'd be a travesty. That would. My biggest fear for him, I said it the other night on 90s Mags, my biggest fear for him is that he sort of ends up becoming a James Milner type, where you just become this utility player. We saw it historically with like Phil Jones and Phil Neville, players that had like some form of ability, but when you're playing them in 5, 6, 7 positions, you're nullifying like their key attributes. I just think the sooner he's played in his natural position, the better. And I think that comes from a bit of boldness where you got to be brave and say, you're out of form, dropped. You're tired, dropped. Put him in. Not, oh, you're so good, I can't drop you. Let me find somewhere I can squeeze you in. It's got to work for him and it's got to work for the team, in my opinion.
Well, I think if he goes to England, that's going to be good for him, really good. But we know he's not going to play more than 2 minutes the whole tournament. I mean,
exactly.
We know that he's not going to be taken into consideration much. But either way, it could be a good thing. Jordan Anderson still gets call-ups. You know what I mean? That's
crazy.
That's a weird one. You got Tino, of course. When you get out of the Jordy realm of things, you got Tino, possibly, never know, could be called up. Who else you got on there? Gordon, of course. Gordon.
Andy Gordon.
Dan Burn, exactly.
Nick Pope, even.
Or Ramsdale.
Nick Pope or Rep. Nah, I don't see it, man. I don't see it.
I don't see it either.
Pope's been to the last.
I don't see it either.
I'd be worried if it was the case.
I think, Paul, what you have to look at it as well is with Mailey, Tuchel's there for a short-term deal. Doesn't look like he's going to stay after the World Cup whatsoever. He's got no plans to do that. So in regards to this, he doesn't really care about bringing youngsters in. It's all about getting a result in this tournament to him. So he doesn't mind.
But he has brought youngsters in, hasn't he? He's picked youngsters. He's picked
he has
Livramento.
Yeah, but I mean, he's picked. He's
oh man,
come on, Ian. Livramento, man. Just because you're young don't mean you are actually somebody that he is trusting and gambling on because from the academy or from the reserves or wherever. It's not the same though as buying them a cast-off that's just happened to be young from from Chelsea, like Lewis Hall, or you know what I mean.
No, what have I said? What have I said? You dispute with Tuchel picks youngsters. He's picked Hall. He's picked Livramento.
Oh, I'm sorry. You know what? I thought you were talking about Eddie Howe picking youngsters as opposed to. My bad. I'm sorry.
I was talking about Tuchel picking them for England.
Oh,
You're saying that Lewis Miley gets in the squad and never gets picked because he doesn't pick him. Was that what you meant, Boaky, or am I wrong? Were you talking about Howe?
No. What I was saying was that I don't think he's particularly looking to develop the squad. So I think if it was if Southgate, I think Southgate probably would look to bring Miley into the squad. But I think Tuchel's more for the here and now. He's basically got the World Cup in mind, and that's it. He's not planning on England's future.
My biggest you could have a point there, by the way, but my biggest thing is a Newcastle United fan, content creator, in all of us really, is whether what benefits Newcastle United and whether Newcastle United fans really think this is it. I do take being from England, I take all of your opinion on that, of course, and value that. And what Michael was saying about the climate, I understand that. However, from what I read, I just feel like people really don't care about the national team football wise as they did before. Can you correlate to the political thing? Maybe, but when you hear the comments, it's not really about England is this type of country. That's why I'm not going to support it. No, it's about, I could care less about supporting Declan Rice or supporting I'm all of Newcastle. So that's what I see.
But how's about in the conversation saying Tuchel is bringing in young'uns? Why is he bringing in young'uns? Oh yes, because Eddie Howe bought them when they were even younger, or inherited them when they were even younger, and developed them into players who Tuchel's looking at and playing even though they're young'uns.
Yeah, that's Tuchel's job, mate. Tuchel's job is not to.
Yeah, but the reason he's noticing them is because they're playing in Eddie Howe's team. Who bought them? Eddie Howe. Who developed them? Eddie Howe.
Win. How much did he pay? How much did he pay for them youngsters?
28 million and 45 million.
So come on, they were obviously good players. You don't play that much for a young player. What's he doing with our academy? What players he brought through from there?
That's the main thing. Because
there's Lewis Hall. There's Anderson. There's four of the players you're talking about.
No. Oh, you're scraping the barrel, mate.
No, it's not.
Scraping the barrel.
Anderson didn't even give him the light. He didn't even the time of the day, man. The only one that he's ever brought up and gave trust is Lewis Miley. Are you saying then that Pep Guardiola brought up Julian Alvarez?
And then let's look at Dan Burn.
Dan Burn.
I was going to say. Howe's development of players into England players is not restricted to young players because, let's be honest, Gordon wasn't an England player when we bought him, and Burns certainly wasn't. He couldn't even get in the three-man Brighton centre-backs.
Again, that's my point, though. Gordon was young when he came to Newcastle. He's young. That doesn't mean that we brought him up. It's not the same thing.
I'm not saying that. It's the development. It's the coaching that he's getting off Howe.
He was 17.
An England player.
No, he wasn't 17 when we signed him.
Lewis Hall.
Gordon?
Oh, Lewis Hall. No, sorry, I thought you meant Gordon.
No, Lewis Hall.
Lewis Hall, I don't think he was 17. Surely not. Was he?
No, Lewis Hall came in here, started playing, and we were like, why is he not playing? He could
Leo was 19, I think.
Yeah, he'd already
not
played.
far off,
Not when we bought him, he wasn't.
He'd already
bought him in
played
2020.
15
On loan, he
games.
might have been 17, actually.
He'd already played 15 games for Chelsea, of which I think a couple of them were in the Champions League. And he played against us, actually, in the league as well. I think the one where Willock got the winner at the end.
Was his debut,
So it's not like he was a mug. And as for Tino Livramento, the Chelsea fans were absolutely outraged when he was sold to Southampton because he was one of their highest ever, best ever prospects. It's just that he had I think he had an ACL injury. And then, he went to Southampton. And obviously, if Southampton hadn't got relegated, I actually don't think he would have come to us anyway. Such was his talent. So the talent was already there.
Yeah, man, come on,
I
man.
just think,
It's
come
not
on,
the
man.
same as-
These guys are first team ready. Where are the guys from the academy? Because the thing for me is the easy cop out will be to say they're not good enough. But I'm worried that actually the ones that Ashworth brought in, because they were Ashworth players, he'll never play them. And definitely the Mitchell ones, he ain't going to play. Because there was a player we signed from Georgia. I think he's injured, right? He was meant to be the next, I can't say his name. Is it Krakalaush Geria or whatever his name is? Then you had the guy in defense who's meant to be really good prospect. You had Cordero, who Barcelona and Real Madrid were chasing. Don't know if you saw how many players turned up to his signing at Cadiz. That tells you the level of the player. Yet he's been shipped off. This is the problem. If these guys are getting pulled through, then you got to rate the manager for sure.
And what was the point? I just want to. What was the point about bringing Dan Burn in the conversation with being young? Young.
Being young. It's about the coaching, developing a player. Dan Burn is a late bloomer because he's got coached by Eddie Howe. He's been coached from a Brighton reserve into an England international. He's a much better player, having had 3 or 4 years of Howe coaching.
I'm not sure he was a Brighton reserve.
Lewis Dunk has even been in the England squad playing for Brighton. It doesn't mean you're all that. And Burns better than Dunk.
I've got to say,
Burn wasn't better than Dunk at Brighton, though. He couldn't get in the team. So you're right. Howe has improved him past Dunk to replace him in the England team.
Three, no? They had a back three. Wasn't he the left-sided centre back?
Couldn't get in the back three. He couldn't get in the back three half the time. He was number 4 in Brighton.
I think part of the issue is, Ian, with Burn, you've got to think it's more of an issue for the England team that Burn's getting into that squad rather than.
I agree. I don't think he's England class personally.
Yep, exactly.
At Newcastle, but let's face it, he's not even a first choice centre back at Newcastle, really.
Well, we got an interesting
one
here.
And I put Chow ahead of him, probably Chow as well.
This will give us a good time to plug our partners here at 90s Mags podcast on YouTube, because covers this. For your information, chaps, the argument on 90s Mags yesterday was Jeff was saying Eddie Howe's development of players is a myth. Discussion for the panel. Well, it is a myth. It is a myth. Nobody here can deny that, is it?
Look at Wynn's face. He's triggered. Look at him.
I can't believe that. I can't believe you're saying that when every one of those championship players that were relegated with Benitez and looked like
I thought we were on about young players.
Has been coached to the point. Where Newcastle can qualify for the Champions League. With
I thought we were about a young player. When it comes to young,
Jamal Lascelles playing centre half.
Ian.
Yeah,
when it comes to young
players, the under-21s are coached. The under-21s are coached by somebody else.
No, but he's
coached by
the one that has to. He's the one that has to bring him up, give him the opportunity to be on the first team. Like Sean Neve, he's going to build rheumatitis sitting on the bench, man, and never.
I agree. I have no idea why Alex Murphy hasn't played half of the last 4 games. I have no idea why.
That's why I like you, man.
Because I've seen him.
That's why I like
you
because you're balanced a little bit. Not like Wynn. He's an ultra. He's an extremist.
On that Wolves choice, by the way, when I said Trippier should come in and Miley to midfield and rest Bruno, I think Murphy
I agree with you 100% on that, by the way.
Day off.
Let
Murphy play and bring Hall off. It's bloody Wolves, isn't it? Come on.
I know.
Exactly, Ian. Exactly, mate. I was saying the exact same thing this morning. Win was whinging about, taking for Wolf for granted, all them weird sayings about when we play in a weak team.
I said we could play trips against Wolves and put Miley in midfield. What are you talking about?
Exactly. Put Ramsey on the side, Willock on the other side.
Just a quick point in the sorry, Ian.
Sorry, I was just going to agree with Jefferson a little bit, which might seem odd. I hadn't even thought about it, but Howe is a stubborn old bastard, and the fact that none of these kids that he's directed of football that he doesn't get on with have brought in aren't being picked could be something as pathetic as that.
It's just who we are, mate. It's just who we are.
I would hope that he wouldn't be that bad, like. But
people don't change, man.
Reason.
It's been a bruising summer. Has it been a bruising summer for us, Boaky? Yes or no?
Yes, but it just quickly in regards to how we develop. Yes. But in regards to that, if Howe's so good at developing players, why aren't we looking at the South American leagues, the South African leagues, the Asia leagues, and he can bring players in from there to develop rather than being Premier League proven players to develop into Premier League proven players?
Wonderful, because now
win the Nationals.
We got to get through the confidential, by the way, and we're going to get to that point because that's an amazing point. Toon scouts head to Paris, says this confidential. Newcastle scout Kevin McCaff is leaving the club to take up a position. Oh, what the heck? Oh, they're leaving. I thought they were going to see a player in Paris. They're leaving the job. What the? They're leaving the job. Never mind then. I thought we found the next French Mbappe. And comes to find out, we were just knackered. They can reveal, the Daily Mail, that the long-serving analyst has said his goodbyes after 9 years on Tyneside, during which time he has worked on first-team recruitment, reporting into the manager and head of recruitment, Steve Nixon. Steve Nixon. See, people report to Steve Nixon, mighty, when just in case, because you don't believe that Steve Nixon is involved in. He's one of the.
No, I do believe he's involved. All of the bedwetters think it's all Andy Howe and Eddie Howe.
And Steve Nixon. So they're all three, the triangle, the mafia triangle right there. Yeah, all the three cronies taking over and kidnapping our club. Oh, my bad.
Steve Nixon massively involved in Bruno, Botman, Isaac.
And what about
really? I thought it was Eddie.
Livramento.
I thought it was just Eddie.
No, Eddie's team. Eddie's team.
So you've changed tack now, Win, have you? You're giving the credit to Nixon now.
Let us talk about. Let me say, Mighty Win, because I'm not gonna let you abuse the elder like that, man. Let me get in there. So, as far as you guys were talking about 100, we got 130 something odd million or whatever we got for Isaac, and you guys keep on going about spending on Premier League players. Is it not proven now that when you get fixated on Premier League players, doesn't it prove that it doesn't guarantee nothing more than just spending more money for players than you shouldn't? Maybe. Because Ilanga playing at Serie A or La Liga could have cost 25 to 30 million as opposed to 55 probably. And it would have maybe been a shock. A shocker as he has been this season, but at least you didn't spend as much money. So, and that's just many other signings that you can. For example, you knew what
you were buying with Ilanga.
No, you didn't.
Yes, you did.
Not. We expected more than
we
we
I was buying someone as ineffective as that.
No.
Exactly.
He looks like he should have been 55.
I mean, that fiasco on the touchline on Wednesday night.
He's clearly now worth £55 million. And when it comes to Ramsey, for example, he might be worth the £55 million. But the point is, when PSR doesn't help teams either make deals like Aston Villa has to try to charge as much as they can. And so therefore, because the PSR restrains, we buying a Premier League player like that from Aston Villa who need money, we are also going to have to spend money on them. So why not go to other places? Why are we fixated on Premier League when it's not guaranteed that it will make things better anyway? Why not go and invest money for a Julian Alvarez from South America, for example, that came in here and it did wonders. And they're easy to find. They're easy to find. So you can whinge all you want, but it's a fact that we don't go anywhere in the world other than the Premier League. We go to AC Milan. We almost like we have a deal with them that we buy Tonali, we buy Chow, and Chow, 33 million, comes here, proves that he can play in the Premier League. Voltemata, only people that have something against him argue that he's not a good player. He comes in here, scores the goals with limited service, by the way, and he performs. So why do we have this fixation with English Premier League players? Somebody help.
I think it's a fixation.
Michael hasn't
to get
spoken in
to
a
the
minute,
next
man.
step.
Michael,
In the summer, wasn't it?
Michael hasn't spoken in a minute. Michael, go ahead, man.
I think it's one of those that you've kind of got to look at the success rate of signings. I think the success rate of signings when you're buying from the Premier League is higher. There's no guarantee, as we have seen, unfortunately, with Elanga. I do think he'll come good. But I think you're looking at sort of Nottingham Forest. I mean, I don't think I could count on both hands the amount of players they've signed from South America over the last 3 or 4 seasons, and almost all of them have been flops. But I think for Newcastle, we need players who are going to be good right now. And most of the time when players are signing players from South America, I mean, City have just spent a bit on a youngster they've just loaned out. Real Madrid spent 40 million on one. Again, there for the future. And I don't think we're in a position to do that just yet. I completely agree with the other top 5 leagues. There's gems in League One, Serie A, La Liga. So I do think we should spread the net a bit more, and I'm sure they do. I think it's one of those where we're trying to fixate on that average success rate of, well, Elanga, what do we need? We need pace. He's got 10 assists in the Premier League. He's a pacey player. Put him on the right. Surely that is a match made in heaven. Turns out it hasn't been the case. I did go back on a lot of the videos done when he signed, and everyone thought it was a great signing, myself included. Turns out it's wrong. But that's fine. We've watched him. He hasn't worked.
At the minute, it looks like it's wrong.
Yeah, hasn't worked yet.
It was never going to work, in my opinion, on the basis that Nottingham Forest play counter-attack, and so did Man United under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Really deep, having to run 60, 70 metres forward. We don't play that way. It doesn't fit our playing style. And I did warn people that, look, it's not even just about the price. It just doesn't fit our playing style. Unfortunately,
I think it does fit our playing still when we play the bigger teams, though, and it's one of those where we are going to play those bigger teams more often now that we're in the Champions League. Does he fit us for when we play Wolves, Nottingham Forest, etc.? No, we can see how poor he is, but I think the game against Everton where they came out and played against her, he was arguably one of our better players that day. Barcelona, I remember him having a decent game, so I think he signed for those particular games. It's a huge price. But you need that difference on that right flank.
But Michael, can I ask you a question? Can I just challenge that a minute? Because we finished 5th in the league, so that means we're a top 6 side. And as you know,
that doesn't mean we're a top 6.
Hold on though, but I'd just like to say our average in terms of when you look at our last 3 finishes have been 4th, 7th, and 5th. That does make us a top 6 side. So if we're signing a player on the basis that his strengths is counter attack, and we're a top 6 side, because we have overtaken Spurs and Man United, maybe not off the pitch in terms of revenue, but on the pitch we are better than them. So we're a top 6 side. Why are we signing a player we're only going to play 5-6 times a season? Because we should be dominating these other teams that we're coming up against. Hence why we've been getting these average top 6 finishes. That would be my positive challenge. It just really was not a good signing.
We've never been the kind of team to really dominate games. If you look back over the last few seasons, the reason we didn't get top 4 women in the Champions League is because we couldn't beat the likes of, we'd go 1-0 down against certain teams, we'd struggle to come back. The other metric of that is that we couldn't break down the likes of Bournemouth, Leeds, Crystal Palace. So maybe there you're thinking number 10 should have come in as well. But yeah. But I think there's a lot of the time when we go 1-0 down, particularly over the last few years, where you look at it and go, or we go 1-0 up, let's say, you'd look at it and go, there's just not really enough pace and players willing to take players on. Gordon's done it a lot less over the last few years. Barnes always wants to cut inside. Murphy's always going to get that early crossing. Elanga did offer something different, and on paper, I think that's why it could still work. In reality, he's been very poor. It's only been 5-6 months. I think offering something different is the reason why he has been brought in, and it can work because we've seen in those games where we are particularly poor.
This right-wing conversation, though, is not new. And that's why I don't think that Ilanga came here to be just a player that contributes. I think Ilanga was brought to be Newcastle's right wing. And
he was.
Again, and I was wrong because I thought he would have done a decent job. I thought him and Madueke, there was barely a cigarette paper between them. And now it feels like China walls between them. You know what I mean? So it's a very tough situation. I don't want to lose my hope on him, but at the end of the day, it hasn't been working out right now. But again, it's a fixation though, because now we spend all that money, £250 million. We still got money to spend now, but we're looking at players from here where we could possibly get some other players, get more squad depth. For example, if we want Prem ready players, Conor Gallagher has to be one of the most Premier League team ready players to play. Come on here and play. Like Granit Xhaka, for example, who I talked about before he even went. He would have swam to Newcastle. In Premier League ready player to play, to give us depth, maybe start at times. Why are we never in these conversations? Never. And I'm not saying you guys rate Conor Gallagher, so I'd like to hear your take. But if you really want Prem proven, then which one is it? Because
I would certainly have gone for Conor Gallagher.
I hate him, so I can't say I would have. I don't think he offers much of what people. I think he's a runner, he's a presser, but other than that, he offers very little creatively. He hasn't got a great shot on him. I mean, Simeone's not exactly played him frequently this season. He's kind of lost his place there. Now, don't get me wrong, Atletico Madrid, losing your place at Atletico Madrid means you're a starter for most Premier League teams easily. But I think it's one of those where I think Conor Gallagher is a really overrated player. And I think you can see that when he comes on for England and everyone goes, why is this kid playing for England again?
I don't know. I've seen him play good for England.
I've seen him have plenty good games.
Especially when England needed.
Maybe for Chelsea.
I can't remember many.
And lots for Chelsea.
I remember when England one time needed to close the game down, and he came on, and he was chopping everybody up. And sometimes you just need that type of players, man. That's a proper number 6. So
but I agree with what a couple of people are saying in the chat, and what Jeffo says. He's a runner. But that is our style of football under Eddie Howe.
No, but it's hit a stumbling block. This pre-season, everyone was like, pre-season doesn't matter. The summer doesn't matter. It does. Like, this summer was Eddie's prime opportunity to try and evolve the team. Every man, woman, and dog could see that we needed to evolve the style of play from the running style, the high press, and all that into a possession-based style team. And we've seen like Jurgen Klopp make a similar evolution in his early time at Liverpool. He weren't just sending the dogs out where you had particularly Fabinho, Gini Wijnaldum, and Milner running at people in midfield. You need to add a little something more to your game.
So here's the thing, Jeffo.
Hold on. You need a cog in the wheel. And there was all this interest around El Canouse, who was only available, was it like 20 million or something, right? Who's a more technical player, could have given us a little something. He then went and bought Jacob Ramsey, who's exactly the same profile as Willock. So we've wasted, unless you're selling Willock and he's Willock's replacement, you then have 2 midfielders with exactly the same attributes. It's just one's older, one's younger. So what we don't want to do is then buy another runner. We need different profiles because you need to change the style of football. So, that's why we didn't win any games in pre-season. We're very predictable, and most opposition managers know how we play. We need to evolve. And this is why I'm done with Eddie. Emotions aside, just looking at what's there, we need something different. And
do you realise what you've just said there?
He's too stubborn to change it.
Do you realise what you said there? That's what Klopp had to do when he went to Liverpool. So he had to evolve into a possession-based side. What happened this season? He did that.
But we'd win.
What happened in that transition season?
Oh, you're saying because he sold Coutinho?
What happened in the transition season?
Because he sold Coutinho. Is that the excuse?
They finished outside the Champions League for the first time in 18 years because it was a transition season. And the problem we've had this season is that Eddie has indeed tried to evolve into a more possession-based side, and it hasn't worked because
he
personnel
doesn't have the profile of player.
Because we haven't got the right players.
Can I just pick you up? Can I just pick you? Can I just pick you up on a point here? Under Howe, 78% of the players we have signed have been Premier League proven. That's a frightening stat. He doesn't look at other leagues.
And what have been achieved with those players?
No. But he doesn't look at other leagues. But we win. The percentage of that went up this summer because the amount of Premier League players were signed this summer.
What's been achieved with those players that he signed those Premier League players?
He signed Premier League proven players. But what's been achieved is we've got no money to spend on other players. We went through five transfer windows where we had not a penny to spend. You've got to start looking at other leagues to buy players from.
And the cheek to talk, everyone's talking about PSR. Who's responsible for that? Eddie's the one that wasted the damn money. And if you're not going to blame Eddie, blame his nephew. One or both of them need to go because they both failed in that regard.
Well, the thing is that we do spend in it. We do look abroad. We just don't look enough because we went to get Chow. How much money would Chow cost in the Premier League if it was like as he was at AC Milan?
If he plays like he is now, double.
Well, no, double right now. I don't know, but I think more than double. But if he was, I'm saying, like the way he was playing at Milan, sometimes he would start, sometimes he wouldn't. He would probably be around 50 to 60. In the Premier League.
You look at the players we have
for a team like Milan, the same size in England.
You look at the players we have bought from abroad. Bruno, Chow, as you say, Botman. All the players we've got from abroad are working, and they would have cost a hell of a lot more money if they'd been playing in the Premier League. That's so why aren't we picking up on the fact that we can't get good players from abroad?
Which is insane though, Boaky.
Because what we were buying then was players to get us from being a relegation team into a team that wasn't a relegation team. Now we are looking at the next level.
Rubbish.
No,
absolute rubbish.
That's bollocks. That's bollocks, Win, because those players, Tonali, Bruno, Isak, are one of the best players in the Premier League right now. Anybody will want them. Isak is having a spell there. But if he would have continued to be at Newcastle, we can compete for Champions League, and we just got to add more to that. More of those type of players from abroad. That's the thing. Those are not rubbish players that come here just to save you from relegation. Those are proper footballers that got us to Champions League. If you keep adding more and more depth, then you can get to the next level.
Let's examine that. We're qualified for the Champions League. And we went out, 2 major signings when we qualified for the Champions League, 22-23, best season I've ever had. We went out and we bought Toon Army, big money, from a big team for the Champions League next season, and we bought Harvey Barnes. They were our 2 marquee signings. They were both out for virtually the full season.
Okay, but what are you on about? What's that got to do with the argument?
Right. Well, then the following season,
that bollocks, Win.
The following season, we got Isak in, and then that was the money gone. So the next 3 seasons, we didn't have any money to spend. Not only did we not have any money to spend, we had to sell 2 of the players we'd bought. Well, not bought, but one brought through, one bought to develop. And we had to sell Minty and Anderson.
Oh, Ian, when we could have got the same money in for Trippier and Wilson if they'd got sold at Christmas.
Oh, wait, what is that?
So you say.
We just actually argued our argument there.
Thank you, Jefferson, by the way. Wait, man. Wait, are you a knockout? Come on.
I'm not knockout at all. It's as plain as the nose on your face for me.
No, man. Why are you arguing? You arguing with us, or are you with us, man? We're lost right now. Time for Wayne to go judge. Cheers, Jefferson. So now we're going to we should have done that a long time ago, by the way. We took long enough. We took long enough, man. We took long enough, man. Oh, this is criminal, man. This guy, what are you on about? Listen, we got much bigger. We got bigger problems right now. You know why? Because the confidential continues saying Target wants to finish his Borough job. He wants to stay at Middlesbrough for the remainder of the season, and Newcastle are sympathetic to his wishes, of course. But the fact is that we have gone in, tested the waters to try to get him back, to try to bring him and help the team. He was never going to.
Listen, we can bring him back for one. That's the end of the story.
Well, yeah, but we're not going to do that because we don't want to upset him. That's one of the good things about being as loyal as Eddie is to a fault, that he will never bring a guy that doesn't want to be in. Although he would have to just get on with it and deal with it and play ultimately. And you don't think he wants to play in Champions League, wants to play in the Premier League and FA Cup? He would enjoy it ultimately. But right now,
he thinks he's only going to watch the Champions League, though, isn't he? That's why he want to stop there.
No, he would play against PSV.
He's got a chance of.
You don't think he'll play against PSV?
Chance of promotion.
But not Lewis Hall would be playing against PSV.
We want Lewis Hall in the team.
Oh, but he would play center back or right back, though, man. Yeah, but again, he doesn't want to come. However, this says head coach Eddie Howe and sporting director Russ Wilson are keen to respect the left back's preference. For now, they are looking elsewhere to bring in cover for the position, and there is a desire to sign a right-sided center back. We understand a pot of cash has been made available for the latter, and that could be as much as $25 million were the right player to be able. So still by that says extreme cruelty to an aged Joe Jefferson. There you go. We're gonna do that. We're gonna do that, Sean. But, folks, we have put aside, according to this, $25 million to bring in a center back. What center back is coming to Newcastle for $25 million? We ain't got a clue yet. But that is apparently what the club has set aside for this particular, injury blow that we've got.
Hey, I'm not sharing a cell with him.
Where's the soap, Win? Where's the soap?
Hey.
Don't bend over, son.
Get us now, lads.
Be careful with that.
Love it.
Thank you very much, José. But I'm just saying, what do you guys make of this Target situation? And I mean, we should. Well, I don't know. I mean,
I don't want anybody here who doesn't want to play for the Toon. Simple as. Don't want to play, get on your bike.
Sentiments, man. When you put him on the pitch, he'll have to play.
Be underwhelmed if he was recalled, and that was the answer to it all. I think if they've set part of their summer spending pot to one side to bring a purchase or two forward from the summer, and we go and get a young centre back and a young full back that can step in. To me, we've got one called Alex Murphy who could do centre back and forward.
Oh, get off the Alex Murphy train, Matty. Shiza.
He hasn't had a chance.
You don't let him talk to you like that, man.
He hasn't had a chance. We got to give him a
I mean,
go.
that was shambolic.
You can tell when a player isn't good enough. Bolton weren't even. I mean, they wanted to keep him.
Why is he even on the team, though? Why is he even on the team?
Because who else is there? You're going to put Mark Gillespie on there as a second goalkeeper. We've got one.
He's done it before.
Exactly. It's one of those where I think we've got a big rebuild job in the summer. I think it's 6 players out of contract: Trippier, Shaw, Lascelles, Kraft, Ramsdale, and Target. So maybe you don't have to replace Target, but I think that's the priority. They want to bring Trippier. They want to bring Target back as a sort of temporary solution. He doesn't want to come. 25 million's not enough of the budget, so we can't replace those 6. And now we'll probably bring in a young lad, but at the same time, you bring players in January, they're like 20, 30 million more than what they should be, particularly if they're Premier League quality, because no one wants to sell mid-season. So, wanagad.
What about today? Today I saw the news about Cal Heffernan, highly touted, signed from AC Milan, right? But somehow ends up at Harrogate Town. So you come as a really top prospect, but but you
Here's
develop
Laura.
so much that you end up at League 2 level, but you've come from a European giant. How does that happen? Does he not play because he was brought by Ashworth? Does he not play just simply because he wasn't good enough? This kid was highly touted. He's come from AC Milan. How have you ended
He
up
was
at Harrogate Town? It makes no sense.
he was so highly touted. He never played for the under-21s. He only
But
played for
why?
the under-18s.
But why?
For AC
Why?
Milan. So I don't think he
Why?
was that highly touted, to be honest. I think
Why
it's
we
one of
signed
those.
him? Why we signed him then?
I ain't got a clue,
There's no
but
smoke without fire, surely. Like, we got to sign him because they're half decent. I thought the idea was, when we got, like, say, a Rodrigo Vilca or whatever it was, or who's the other guy? The
Rodrigo
Santiago Munoz from, like, the Brucey days.
No,
all the dodgy ones were
wait,
over
no,
and done with. Like, what's going on?
Santiago Munoz was the movie, man.
Yeah, or Munoz. I forgot
This did my goal against Fulham.
Vilca, Rodrigo Vilca, Peruvian Toon legend, man.
The guy, he was it from Santos Laguna, wasn't he? He was like a half Mexican, half American guy. Yeah, he I think he had the same name as the movie star, but it's just like that was in Ashley's time. So anyone that signed after must be half decent. What happened to Garan Quol, star of the World Cup? Then again, couldn't do anything. We have to question these things. We can't just keep saying, "Oh, well, it was their fault, or it was the coach's fault, or they weren't very good." Like we have to question these things. It can't be all of them. There must be a problem.
Well, the Cordero one was criminal. I mean, it was just plain and obvious. I mean, we send them to Afghanistan to play. You know what I mean? Come on, man. You come from Malaga and then you send them to Iraq. I mean, come on, man. It's not. What's going on here?
Belgium's not that bad. Jeez.
Yeah, I'm just saying, man. You know what I mean? We send all these. We send them to Guam. We send them to to all these countries, man. What are you doing, man? And it's criminal. And the Mighty Win sits here and talks about, well, if they were good enough, they would start. What are you on about, man? I wouldn't even want to play for these teams if I was sent on loan over there, man. Come on, man. It's insane. It's insane. Now, we're keeping an eye on Gabriel. Newcastle have scouted Leche's Thiago Gabriel, 21 years of age, center back. They are yet to follow up on these checks on the situation that center back Fabian Schär does have a chance of playing again this season, but that will be April at the earliest because he just got out of surgery. Didn't think he was going to need surgery and ended up needing surgery, so there you go. So pretty much the campaign is going to be knackered by then. We'll know what Newcastle's future next season is going to be by that time. One player who has almost certainly played his last game for Newcastle is club captain Jamal Lascelles, who is currently looking for another club. West Ham is one of the options being explored. There is good news on Dan Burn, though. His rib injury is healing well, and don't be surprised if he features before the end of the month, perhaps even as quickly as the trip to PSG, and that's 13 days from now. Free Jefferson, says Christine. Look, if a happy clapper has to free Jefferson, then we are. Then Mighty Win. You need to check your members, man. Because they're getting out of line. They're getting out of line, man. But thank you very much, Christine. I appreciate you.
These are all the prize winners who are in. Laura Toonway, Fitina Tooney.
That's right.
He's on my Christmas list already.
Mm-hmm. There you go. Thank you all very much indeed for that one. Don't forget, you can join the membership club. Hit the join button down below. Support the channel. Enjoy exclusive content. One of the main ones right now, one of the hot ones the members are enjoying is the Player Rating Show with Ian Mackay and Michael Gramslow. Wonderful show. Wonderful show. Good stuff, of course. I was so entertained watching that show yesterday, man. I was like, wow, I can't believe I'm that good that I got these guys. No, I'm just playing. I'm just playing, man. I'm just playing, man. But you guys did amazing.
Thank you, Matt.
So good stuff. Good stuff.
So
we keep an eye on Gabriel.
Have paid off.
So we put money aside according to this for a center back. £25 million. The club put aside. Hey, go buy a center back to replace.
Can I just add, by the way?
Yeah, go on.
In response to Michael biting my head off, I thought he was my friend. No, what I meant was we've got we've got a young kid, Alex Murphy, who hasn't been tried, and if we're going to spend up to 25 million to buy somebody who we don't know about, who hasn't trained with the first team for 18 months,
I agree.
We're not going to get anybody better than Alex Murphy to slot into fullback or centre back.
I agree.
He'll be.
I agree with you.
He'll be watching. He'll be watching till April anyway. He won't chuck him straight in.
But don't you think?
Whereas at least Murphy has trained with him for 18 months.
But don't you feel like if lightning has struck you twice, you're not lucky at all. Perfect. The main center back goes off. The second one goes off. The third one goes off. At some point, can you just say, look, it is what it is, man. Get on and perform. Why can't you do that? Why is he that bad of a player that he can't just play center back for God's sake for Newcastle United? Is it that bad? I mean, I just refuse to believe that. Man. I just refuse to believe it. You know,
we don't know. He's never been tested, has he? He's come on for 10 or 15 minutes against Fulham recently and looked all right, I thought.
Yeah, he did look okay against Fulham.
He was more of a Lewis Hall left back than Dan Burn was. That's for sure. I just think that there's something there. It would give everybody a rest. Wolves is
interesting from Tony.
He never got over the halfway line when he played against Fulham. So
he don't need to as a centre back,
bro. He's saying he was more of a Lewis Hall.
And you talk about Dan Burn got over the.
Burn got over I've been campaigning for him to get a game since I saw him do well in the preseason 2 seasons ago. So
in America,
I watched him.
Was it the one in America?
In America, he looked half decent in America, yeah.
Because we were undefeated that tournament, I think, wasn't it?
Listen, man. At some point, we need to stop talking about these guys like they're young and you know. You've been in the preseason for Newcastle United 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Then you're not young anymore. Yeah. You might be young in age, but in dog years, you're not young. So either you're good or not. Sell them. If it's that bad, you gotta sell them, mate. Again, I don't understand this. I don't understand it. I don't understand it. Tony says, "Who the hell does Target think he is? He's under contract." Well, if Newcastle wanted to bring him, I think they're still thinking about it, though. I think they're still thinking about it.
Underwhelming solution, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, how is Target better than Murphy?
Aye.
One
starts for the team that's second in the championship.
That's really poor from him.
He said that's what he said about Murphy being worse than or Target being better than. It's a center back even because Murphy's actually a center back. Target plays center back at Middlesbrough. I don't know how. I've never seen them play center back before. Maybe.
I really don't get the issue around Target. Sure enough, it's a no-brainer just to bring him back.
Yeah,
tough what he thinks. Absolutely tough what he thinks. He's not going to come out and play absolutely crap for on the pitch because he's looking for a new club in the summer.
Well, exactly.
So he's got to play proper football. His contract's up, so you bring him back. You don't offer him a new contract. You just say, "Look, you're either on the bench or if we need you for certain games, we'll put you on." He signed a contract with us saying that he'd play for us. If we couldn't break that contract the other way, so he can't break it with us. And as I say, he's not going to play poorly because he's looking for his next team.
What's it telling you, though, Boaky, that he don't want to come back? Question marks over the atmosphere? Question marks over the, I'm just leaving it there. I'm just saying.
Guaranteed minutes.
Maybe he's escaped. He's thinking I'm home free. I don't have to go back.
You're seriously asking that question.
Maybe he didn't get developed properly under the coaching staff. They're
he's a young man after all.
But to be fair though, but not playing is part of it, and Eddie Howe wasn't playing. Yeah, it's just part of it. And you can argue whether he was good enough to start for us or not. Middlesbrough are lighting it up in the championship, man. I mean, it is the championship, but I mean, let me look again because last time I looked at them. They were
after the Wolves guy left. Does anyone know who took over?
It's some Swedish guy, I think. I can't remember his name. He's definitely from the Nordics, but I can't remember his name.
Coventry about to be in the Premier League. That is insane, man. Okay, there you go. Somebody put on Twitter talking about Callum Wilson. Let's bring him home as a Newcastle fan. I said, home where? Coventry. because he ain't going over here. You know what I mean? And look, he would go to Coventry though, playing the Premier League. That would be a dream come true if you're from Coventry, wouldn't it?
It looks very much like he's going to Celtic.
Well, that's a proper team, by the way. That tells you the stage of Celtic right now. If you're looking for Wilson, even Mighty Wynn has jumped off the.
Well, Wilson will get 30 goals a season in Scotland if he stays fit.
Win. Are you serious or what? Is
That's
this thing
serious.
on or what? You're dead, but are you serious? That's the question.
He's here always.
Love it.
You know, Spell, you're making me feel sorry for my arch nemesis, man.
Win, I'm about to see you, man. We're gonna be having a time of our lives, man. Don't you worry, man. We're gonna be. Win is gonna be.
That's what you think.
Win likes it when I go to the Toon because he
Cuff, if you want Chris in jail, you got to do a super chat, mate.
You got a super chat, man. You
got to super chat that, mate.
That was brutal, man. And Win looks for these times like when I go there because he lives off me for like a week and a half, man. So you know.
He's the tightest yank I've ever known.
Whoa!
Hey man, when I go there,
whoa, hello.
Amazing. Animal like that. Proper kid, man. Proper.
That's gonna keep the lights on for the next month, isn't it?
Well,
yeah. We emailed him. I emailed him.
I was telling Win we were running behind, so we need them super chats. We were running behind this month. January,
nobody's saying Jill win for the rest of the night after the email he sent me today saying he'd rather win a domestic cup than finish top 4. No ambition. You're out your mind, man. Football's about trophies, man. You didn't get a trophy for finishing top 4.
When can you send more emails out, mate?
Yeah. More emails.
Amazing animal. Thank you, man. Appreciate you very much, mate. Thank you very much. That goes a long way. Thank you. Wissa's Christmas spirit says this thing. Johan Wissa was a part of Newcastle's annual hospital visit at Christmas, but the striker returned a week later with his own donation. So he's taking care of people. The Confidential learned that the dad of 2 made a special trip to the children's ward at the Royal Victoria Infirmary. That's where Ian was born, wasn't it? No, that's back in
Princess Mary, you weren't you?
No, that's when Adam
Princess
and Eve.
Mary. I've learned the correct name for my maternity hospital.
There you go. There you go, man. There you go. And made a significant donation. Shout out to Wissa for doing that, man. I definitely appreciate that, and of course, a lot of these footballers know, what type of life they got, and especially, Wissa coming. Well, he's French though, isn't he? He was born in France, but his parents are from the Congo, if I'm not mistaken. And of course, he played for Congo because he got that opportunity. But that's pretty good, man. That's a good shout. So thank you for that. And what's this? Lawrence walks out on the under 21s. What that mean? Oh, that's a crazy. It makes us talk about the academy once again, or the lower leagues, because another one bites the dust. Another one bites the dust, and another one bites the dust, and another one, and another. I don't know what the rest of the part is, but another one bites the dust. Good old Queen. Is that Queen or Freddie Mercury? Which one was it? When he was alone, or he was? It was
and
Queen,
Freddie Mercury, of course.
No, I know that, but when he was by himself, or when he was with the Queen?
No,
Elizabeth.
Queen.
Remember when I said Queen came to Newcastle, I said Queen Elizabeth. Oh, that would have been great. That would have been great. And the Queen never came to Newcastle though. I thought Newcastle was the main port when it came to shipping and all that BS.
Queen's been Newcastle loads of times.
But like because I know that's what the rivalry with the Mackhams was, that the Mackhams wanted more or less be their own thing, and we were supporters. I mean, I said we, but Newcastle were supporters of the monarchy. When that you were alive at the time, mate.
He was alive for this one as well.
That's why we're Geordies.
Queen Victoria came through
George.
Newcastle.
King George, that's it. King, we supported the king.
Love
we were
it.
royalists.
Queen
Exactly.
Victoria came through Newcastle on a train. It made our servants shut the curtains, so she didn't have to see the poverty in out of Newcastle. She came through.
Get her into pop world.
There's something that looks, well, it's been pulled down now, but until very recently, there was a structure on Grandstand Road where the old racetrack used to be on the town moor, which looked like a bandstand. But what it actually was a single toilet that was built purely for Queen. It would never got used. It was built for Queen Victoria because on her drive to the city, she had to go past it. It was just in case she needed a break. There was this royal loo built for her at the end of Kenton Road.
It sounds like Queen Victoria was like Wynn, full of
Was that Queen Victoria train journey when she was on the journey up to Scotland, where she ended up?
Scotland, yeah.
But it was when she opened the RVI, the Royal Victoria Infirmary.
Oh my God, you were alive then? Okay,
you're going back to the other Queen. He jumps across stories. So you lose what you're talking about.
You're a Scottish geezer.
Hey, read this, man. Somebody read this.
No wrong with a hairy
Mary kidder.
I'm Eddie Howe now.
Oh, what was that?
Not again, Win.
Oh yes.
I'm Eddie Howe now.
Win. Win. You said that? That's AI, by the way, isn't it? That's got to be AI.
You are listening to...
Oh, not that one.
I'm Eddie Howe now.
Oh, that was... Win, was that it? No, let me just say, because I don't know. Is that AI or did you say that?
That's me, completely out of context.
I was on the show.
They did a Donald Trump on us.
No,
Eddie, I am Eddie out because that defeat. This is when we got beat against Man United.
That's not what you said, Win.
Means that we can't possibly get within 3 points of Champions League by the time the Christmas fixtures are finished. We had one to go, which was Burnley. That could at the most put us on 26 points. There was already 5 teams above us on at least that. And as it happened, they all lost and we beat Burnley. So we got to within 3 points of the Champions League, which was my target.
I knew Win would flip-flop on this. So actually on the show, I says to him, Win, don't make the decision give yourself 24 hours. And he still continued down there, Eddie Howe line through the rest of the show. So,
because I thought that defeat meant that we weren't going to be able to get within 3 points of Champions League.
So you're Eddie Howe.
You said what you said.
Can't keep up the fence, mate.
It shocked Boaky so much. He said this.
Ooh.
Suit you, sir.
That was cool. On these last 20 odd minutes that we got left, or 16 minutes that we got left, let's talk about the Newcastle United hunting for a sponsor for the training ground. So we're going to talk about inside the training ground at some point. So we're going to stay tuned for that. But it looks like Newcastle will be building, I think, close to 200 million training ground complex. That's a lot of money, man. Now, they're looking for a sponsor. Let me ask you this. What does a sponsor gain from being a training ground sponsor? I've been calling for one, actually, for a long time, but how do they really get their money's worth other than just wasting money?
It's every time like Sky Sports here with Keith Downey is at the Greg's training ground or whatever.
Training stand.
The Greg's, okay. We're gonna have a Greg's stand in the training ground. So
we'll have free Greg's for the players.
Yeah,
see what the nutritionist says about that.
Do you think they'll use the stadium in there for the women as well? You know, like Man City used theirs, because that'd be great for them.
Well, they're talking about building a smaller stadium.
Yeah, because for the academy and I think the women, that'd be fantastic.
Well, I mean, it's almost next. It backs onto Kingston Park, which is the Falcons ground where the women play right now. It literally backs onto that.
Do the women not play Gateshead now?
Yeah, they do now.
Oh, they moved,
right.
Yeah, I think they do.
So,
Coffee saying the Greg's training ground has a proper ring to it.
Listen, for the training
it's
ground,
a donut ring.
I would accept. for the training ground, I would accept that for the training ground. I wouldn't be mad at that.
Yeah.
But the shirt, I mean, that just doesn't go, man. It just doesn't go, man. It doesn't go. Like, just put Greg's right there. Now, listen, I want to ask you actually this now that I remember it. I pinned it on my, I bookmarked it on my X account. That Newcastle Supporters Trust put up a video basically saying last year we were asked by NUFC to coordinate extras to be involved in the filming project of a video. The video has now been released, just one of the unique opportunities of being an NUST member, of course. So I guess you need to be called upon when you need to be fake or to just, like Mighty Win. But a lot of people have taken on social media about this, if you're on it, and been retweeting and tweeting, complaining and bashing each other about sports watching. So just a few that I got here. What is going on here? Please, long-term Newcastle fans, ? This is what they've reduced you to. Basically, did you guys see the video?
No.
So I think I had to show it. We only got we should have done a whole show on this, by the way, but we'll just put it on and see what's going on. And oh, wait a minute! Don't tell me they deleted the video, and that's what. Did they delete the video? They did delete the video, man. Hold on, wait a second. Oh, they deleted the video, and I could have. I wish I would have never moved it because I could have played it because it was loaded when it happened. Wow. So the NUST thing, they deleted it from their social media. It's basically just the Saudi airplane driving, and they had some Toon fans in there, some Newcastle fans. It was nothing bad. It was just Newcastle fans doing a commercial, participating. They had moments where it cut through the crowd and people were cheering and stuff like that. There's nothing wrong with it, really. Cheers, Ian Flamin says it's not the Falcons now win, it's the Red Bulls. There you go. They deleted that video. Man, I wish I would have never refreshed, man.
Thank you, Ian.
Thank you, mate. But that's what's happened. They have deleted it because I'm assuming because fans complaining left and right about this particular situation. Another one here says, Rocker Report, this account says, last year we were at, so because, as I was reading their quote saying, last year we were asked by Newcastle to get fans to participate in the commercial, blah, blah, blah. This guy here is taking the mic and quotes. Basically what it means is last year we were asked by NUFC to coordinate extras to be involved in the sports watching project, blah, blah, blah. So a lot of people are upset about this, causing, again, the NUFC Trust to delete that tweet. We should probably reach out. Well, we can't do it now because I'm traveling tomorrow, but we should reach out and see if they want to say something about it. But they have deleted that video, which is nothing wrong with the video, by the way. Nothing wrong.
But I'm still confused. What's it all about?
It's basically fans complaining that it's sports washing. That is
what is sports washing?
This video was Saudi Airline commercial.
Saudi Airlines.
Yeah. Plane, flying, Toon fans in there, celebrating, cheering. There were Toon fans you can see in the cabin, they were in there. Nothing wrong with the video, really, if you're just making a commercial for an airline commercial. But a lot of Toon fans on social media going nuts because complaining about sports watching, basically. You know what I mean? And
the same people complaining about Ashley when he was using third world countries to make tops and things for Sports Direct. You if you're going to call something out, you've got to call everything out. I think it's just a bandwagon to jump on at the minute with Newcastle. And I do get a little bit of where they're coming from, and but other countries have different rules, and it's not up to us as Newcastle fans to comment really on that or discuss that. It's sort of, that's their country, so but I think that's part of the problem with that. It's sort of people jump onto a bandwagon, but they don't, as I say, look at it. So would they rather Ashley was back in charge and getting, as I say, third world kids to make our tops for like 20 quid or 20 pence in a shirt or something?
Can't make football political. You can't make football political, because what would you get onto Leicester because of like you don't agree with Thailand's rules on capital punishment? Like it starts getting a bit stupid. Do you know what I mean?
Well, I agree with that, but I don't understand that. I mean, you look at some comments here. Let's just put it on there so see what people are saying. Meanwhile, we got about 9 minutes left. Let's zoom in a little bit. Craig here says, "Aim your displeasure at the trust. They aren't long-term Newcastle fans. Show their true colors here. Sold their soul." What is wrong with that? What is wrong with seeking? And listen, I don't particularly subscribe to these groups anyway. They just make money, kind of like we do. But at least we say what it is. We need money to sustain the channel. But these people here, these trusts are kind of, I don't know what they do really. But I will get your take in a minute, Michael. Don't worry. But but I don't see what the issue is. The club just asking fans if you want to be a part of the commercial. They did it with Isaac's contract. So go on, Michael. Sorry.
Just to sort of add to that, I think the reason a lot of people are angry is because when the Saudis first took over, the Newcastle United Supporters Trust were the ones that said, we exist to be the critical friend of the club, and we're going to be the ones that hold them to account. And I think a lot of people are now looking at that and going, well, actually, 5 years ago, you said you were going to be the ones to hold them to account. Now you're the ones that are actually benefiting from them. And I think that's the sort of U-turn that I think some people, well, let's be honest, not all of them are going to be angry because of that. It'll be a minority that are sort of pushing it, and people will be jumping on the bandwagon as per usual. But I think that's the main reason for it, I think. And then obviously the bandwagon on top.
The thing is, it feels like some that I've read that it seems like they promised a lot. The PAF promised a lot, and they're not doing much of it other than where we're at. And some could argue that they've done a lot, and I think 200 million on the training ground. Man. What else? You know what I mean?
Chris, can I just quickly step in there as well? Anybody who uses a bank, look at who owns your bank. Look at who actually are shareholders in your bank. So in which case, if you're calling out Newcastle fans, you have to call out the whole country who use banking, because it's the same sort of groups that have shares in that sort of thing as well. So, or if you've got a pension fund, it's the same sort of shareholders have got things in that. So if you don't jump on Newcastle fans' back, yes, protest, but don't use Newcastle as an example. Use the whole country.
Yeah, but these are not fans from. These are Newcastle fans. That's what I'm trying.
Well, how do you know that?
Oh, how way, man? There's not. Listen, I'm not going to find how many comments on this. 34,000 views on just this post alone. 15 comments here. Listen, I really refuse to believe, and the fans from all other clubs are just going to come in here and comment, as opposed to just saying, "Look, Mackems do it all. Mackems do it all the time. They come on here and they comment. You guys are this, you guys are that, but we know they're Mackems. They don't hide. This guy, you think he's going to put NUFC in his profile picture? Yeah, go on, sorry.
David says there, surely the penny is going to start dropping amongst even the least intelligent of them. So he's not a fan.
But listen, Paul Carlson here, yes, and you'd swap it up in the blink of an eye if it were offered. I don't know what that means actually. They're having conversations.
Well, that's what he said. He is a Newcastle fan, and he's on about Saudi money, and he's saying yes, and you'd snap the hands off in the blink of an eye if you're from a different club and were offered it.
Yeah. Do you think this is what's slowing everything down? That they're worried about the backlash of, sponsorship deals, commercial deals, because we've been saying it for quite a while. Why isn't anything going on? Why haven't we got these sponsors? And I get there's all the regulations against it. That makes it trickier. But do you think they've got researchers out there that are looking to be like, look, now's not the right time, because if we do this, we're going to get a whole heap of backlash. It could be a PR nightmare kind of thing. Do you think that's why it's been stalling for so long now?
I think that's why they've been squeaky clean.
In all fairness, that Rocker report is a Mackem because he's from I just read Rocker report,
Right.
Rocker from their old stadium. That was Michael. But I did see a lot of Newcastle fans, doing that as well. And I wonder, because I thought that sports watching group that remember when we tried to get them on here and they were scared and they didn't want to. Remember that when?
Yeah, absolutely.
They were scared and they didn't want to.
We said, come on, have your say. No,
so
we'll not get a fair hearing.
I thought that group was knackered, but there are a lot of Newcastle fans who are sort of. But why would the NUST delete that?
I think
video?
I think Newcastle's a tiny target in terms of sports watching because I think you're going to look at
what are they going to do? Geordies get on the
boxing and golf and snooker. It's all Saudi money now, isn't it?
Well, Man United have got more Saudi sponsors than we have and Middle East sponsors than we have.
But let's face it, as Newcastle fans, it's not our responsibility. As a football fan, it's not your responsibility over who technically owns the club. We've got no control over that.
Nothing we can do about it.
They own the club. Do I agree with everything they do? No, but probably not. But is it my responsibility to go out there and say I'm not going to be in a Newcastle United photo because I don't want to go to the ground because of who owns it? No, definitely not. They're the custodians of the club, but we're the fans of the club. So you support the club, not the owners, sort of necessarily.
For example, Billy here, Newcastle fan, says I can see the flags in the SC. I don't think this is the win they think it is. Idiots. To the NUFC Trust who posted a video again. I don't get it, man. I don't understand it. I don't understand what the issue is. They did it with Isak's contract revealing. Remember, they but they asked fans to come on and do a little bit here and there. Remember, what was that place that we walked to? It kind of looks like a church. No. It kind of looks like it's in the Granger Market area part. It's
the arcade, Central Arcade.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool, and that's where Isak's supposed to drive through in that video. I don't know if they did it or not, but regardless, I don't understand it. I don't understand, but people did lose their mind, so it is what it. Nothing's going to change, man. Nothing is going to change. They got the club. That's simple.
We'll just have to tolerate being owned by the richest owners in the world.
Yeah,
it's
a tough one. It's a bastard, isn't it?
Nightmare. Yeah.
It's a nightmare. Well, but it is.
Anyway, if they do get a sponsor for the, if they do get a decent sponsor for the new training ground, that will bump our income up to give us higher headroom in what we can spend in the transfer market.
Here's the thing when it comes to the James Cobb says, isn't it more than it's the NUFC Trust that's involved? Surely a group like that is meant to be more independent of the club in some ways. Be a critic of the club too? Question mark. Yeah, well, that's the thing. But can you really be?
Saudi are one of our major sponsors. So their brand is associated with Newcastle United internationally. Why would they not want to show that connection in one of their adverts? What better way to show it than to have a plane full of Toon fans?
The Trust are there to be critical of the club, but not critical of the owners unless they're doing something wrong against the club. So, to a point that they're there to represent the fans. So, yes, criticise if they do anything wrong for Newcastle United, but looking outside of that, I think it's going beyond their remit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Just a few comments here. Let's do some comments here. Kim Cam, there's no support. There's no sports watching because the Saudi does not give an F about what Europe's thinking of them. But they have a good point there. Tenji Vivid. By the way, what phase are Brentford in with the process after spending nothing like 200 million we spent? They are fifth. Here you go. Still bad.
Never judge your painting when it's half finished.
This week, fifth this week.
Murphy can be developed. Give him a pitch time with the seniors. He will click. Tenji Vivid.
I agree. Still bad, Dad. Michael doesn't. Michael does talk out of his arse half the time.
Coming from you, that is rich, my friend.
Justin Jordy says, you can't make any excuses at all. He is our player. It's written in the loan contract. So what you read online is BS skinny. Fact. Travoy says, Charlie Cresswell would cost about 20 million and Methali would cost about 15 million. Get them both, says that comment there. Thank you. We've got some last super
Charlie
chat.
Cresswell's a really good shout.
Thank you, Jefferson, for super chat, mate.
Big up the dark siders
and the realists. RG Fox says, anyway, man of the match.
Thank you.
Thank you. This is Jefferson 90s Max tonight. There you go, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you, RG Fox.
Cheers, mate. Ian Fleming, thank you very much for the super chat. Christina Cage, of course. Thank you very much. Laura Toon Wifey. Thank you. Sean Jefferson, multiple times. Thank you, mate. And the one and only Animal Lecter bringing the house down with that one. Thank you very much, Animal Lecter. Animal Lecter pissed at me because I didn't take it. I didn't mean to, man. The calls come in as they come in, and I just click answer, and there you go. So, but thank you very much, mate. We appreciate you. You're a top man. Other than that, Ian Mackay, thank you very much, mate. Michael Jefferson, Boaky, Win. This is my last show for a week here. I'll be in the Toon, baby. I'm gone into the Toon. Man. I cannot wait to eat some proper curry. But what is it? I keep asking what's
you cannot handle proper curry, man.
Listen, man, I want some proper English food. And Mighty Wednesday, you can eat some curry. Curry ain't English, man. Come on, man. What's a proper English food? and don't give me that balloon bread crap, man. Give me some proper English food.
What none?
No, balloon bread is Yorkshire pudding.
Oh, okay.
He had a Sunday dinner when he came. Roast beef dinner.
You don't like Yorkshires, Chris?
Listen, I thought I was gonna grab me a loaf of bread and bite it. As soon as I poke it, man, it just deflated. It was the greatest that was the greatest letdown since we invaded Iraq in the early 2000s. I'm telling you, that is unbelievable, man. It's unbelievable.
We're gonna get struck off, aren't we?
Yeah, man, make some proper food, man.
We'll get you some peas pudding.
We went to fish and chips at the Sandman in was it Whitley Bay? Is that Whitley Bay?
Crucial isn't Whitley. Not at Tynemouth.
At Tynemouth, it's the biggest letdown, man. The fish and chip, it was rubbish. Rubbish,
ham and peas pudding, stoddy, Chris.
I had to go eat.
Send it back on the flight.
The greatest fish and chips I've ever eaten.
I've got a pal lives in America, and I went over there and I took him 2 Greg's Stotties, a tin of peas pudding, and some ham. And the customs took everything for the tin of peas pudding off it because the peas pudding was in a tin.
Probably for the best. He wouldn't have spoke to you for the rest of his life.
One thing was great. Well, first of all,
he was desperate for it, man.
I'm not trying that. I'm not trying that rubbish beer you gave me. What was that? That got me sick to my stomach. That Foster's water.
No!
It looked like he grabbed a cup like this, man, and put it in the time river like that. That's what it tasted like.
Chris Foster's.
Yeah, that
Foster's all the time.
That's when you knew he was my biggest nemesis. And I saw him do this too. When I'm looking away.
Chris, it's all about the cervezas, man. You gotta have the cervezas, yeah?
Some lager, some proper lager, man. We need
the Spanish beers, mate.
Chris, I think the club
Win drinks cocktails, as you'll find out when we do the match.
Hey, look, man.
Where we do the match on Sunday, you're in Gosforth, which of course is the birthplace of your Greggs. So I think you need the Greggs on Sunday lunchtime.
Yeah, but we can't.
Chicken
bake,
come on,
please. Man. Listen, I'm American, man.
And the very first shop's still there.
We don't lunch for me. It's not this just a Gregg sausage roll. Man, you gotta have the proper rice.
No, but Greg's
mashed
do
potatoes,
more
steak.
Rolls.
Come on,
no, you're getting black pudding, cheese, crackers, and pickled onions on the bar counter.
Fill up on the plane.
You mentioned rice and mashed potato together.
Yeah, that's what he says.
Yeah. Loaded mashed potatoes with some bacon bits and some cheese, some cream cheese on there as well, butter, all mixed up in there, man, with some rice and a 32-ounce steak. Oh my God!
You lost me, but the rest sounds fine.
Ropa. I mean, that is a steak and a half. One thing I will say before I leave. You guys got some great breakfast though. At the two Toon legends went to the Witherspoon in was it Gosford? It was Gosford, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Me and Tenali. 2 Toon legends been in there. Me and Tenali. So that was a proper. You guys put beans in your breakfast, man. That was a hit. That's a hit, man. I'm all for that. That's a good stuff. That's a good stuff.
Ooh.
Anyway, folks, I'll see you in the tune next time. See you later, folks. Bye-bye.
Hey.